Part 9. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Buletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 82. Sakakibara Raku was taken to her room by Amami Nanamajetsu. Just hearing a click, Tianhai Minjiu, who was walking behind, leaned against the door and locked the bedroom. Locked. What is this for? Brother, don't get me wrong, I don't have a habit of detaining people in rooms. Then you open the door first and then talk. Brother, don't believe it, Tianhai Kaimingyu said, and the hand behind him reinforced the door and locked it for the second time. The sound of the lock cylinder clicking and rotating came continuously. Can this be believed? However, Sakakibara didn't think that a weak woman like her could do anything to him, so he just stayed there casually and looked at the furnishings in Amami Nanami's bedroom. Well, there's not much to describe. In addition to books, there are also books in Chinese, English, Spanish, French, and Japanese. Apart from books and bookshelves, there was only a desk with a pot of daffodils by the window, ink and pens on it, and a few books with shark notes on them. In addition, there is a small piano case piled next to the desk, which looks like a violin. Very simple and neat. Brother, forget it if you don't believe in Chi Minjiu. Don't you think it's rude to just look around at a girl's room for the first time? Tianhai Chi Minjiu sat by the bed. Sakakihara was pleased to see that she didn't mean to blame him at all, so he replied, I'm just a little curious. In addition, Nanamijiu, what do you want to say to me? Also, why are you locked up? Tianhai Kaimingyu was silent for a moment, and then suddenly raised her head. Brother, you like your sister, right? Sakakihara's pupils shrank. Amami Nanamajetsu directly stretched out her finger, interrupting what Sakakibara wanted to say. First of all, brother, there is no need to be surprised and deny it. If you like your sister, you like your sister. No one dislikes your sister. Chi Minjiu, you have already finished what I have to say, what else can I say? Then, this counts as brother admitting it. Second question, what does brother think of sister? Good looking and with a good personality, Raku Sakakihara answered seriously. Yeah, that's right. My sister's gentleness always makes people fall for her. Even Chi Minjiu herself loves and respects her very much. But Tianhai Kaimingyu changed the subject. It's impossible for a brother to attack my sister. Why? First of all, my sister doesn't have the same favorable impression of my brother as Chi Minjiu, even after experiencing this illness. Do you have a high opinion of me? Anything else? Secondly, my sister is not always so gentle. She also has her own difficulties. It will not be possible until my brother finds out what is different about her. Yes, Sakakihara Raku was vaguely aware of this. Thirdly, my sister only has a slight affection for her brother, and more respects her. If she wants to turn into a romantic relationship, she can't achieve it by relying solely on him, even if he goes through high school. Fourth, my father. As long as my father blocks it, it is absolutely impossible for my brother to have any other relationship with my sister. Nanami stopped and sat by the bed. The small and light gold-rimmed glasses on the bridge of her nose reflected Raku Sakakibara's appearance. She placed her hands flat on top of her legs. So, brother, do you think you can endure a secret love that has lasted for 3 years without any results? In other words, it is impossible for brother in this life, but he has to contact his sister every day, so that the feelings in his heart will gradually deepen step by step. When you can't bear it and explode, all you can get in exchange is, I'm sorry, brother, I don't have that kind of feeling for brother. Sakakibara Raku was unwilling to give up, but Nanamajetsu was absolutely right. No matter what, when the confession is rejected, watching the other person gradually move away, that feeling of distance that was originally very cordial and comfortable, but becomes further and further away because of the confession. Okay, this has already made Sakeki Hararaku feel uncomfortable. The reason is that he likes the tenderness Julie Yulai shows to him now, and feels warmed by her meticulous care when he is uncomfortable and sick. Does my brother want it to be like this? You are trying to persuade me to give up. Not really. That's not true. But there's not even a single horoscope yet. Hesitating is not the image of a good man. If brother wants to say something, he must make it clear. Do you like sister? Sakeki Hararaku also felt hesitant. He exhaled, looked at Tianhai Kaimingyu with a serious expression, and said solemnly. I like it, but not that much. Is that the level of secret love? Yes, I just have a crush on Julie Yulai. Tianhai Kaimingyu's expression suddenly became playful, and she adjusted her glasses. When did it start? It started that day when she helped me buy clothes. Does sister know? She had no idea. Brother, Chi Minjiao has caught us. Tianhai Chi Minjiao said. Brother, tell me, what would she think if Chi Minjiao told her sister what she just said? Will he alienate his brother? Or will he deliberately avoid him? A sister who originally cared about him very much has suddenly become distant. My brother doesn't want to see that situation anyway, right? Sakeki Hararaku knew that the little devil had started again. I don't know what kind of demands she will make this time. Sakakibara was convinced by this, because there was really no other way. He had just shown signs of it, and he hadn't shown anything yet he was actually noticed by Nanami Minjiao. Even if she didn't admit it herself, she could explain it directly to Julie Yulai. The wary Kurayuri Sakekihara admitted that he couldn't get in touch with him. Should we say that Chi Minjiao's powers of observation are really amazing? You are right, so if you want me to do something, you will not tell Julie Yulai these words. Brother, you think Chi Minjiao is threatening you? Is this why you suddenly want to talk to your brother? You are wrong. It should be said that it is a big mistake. As my sister's twin sister, Chi Minjiao also has advantages that ordinary people cannot match. The first is the narcissistic Sakakibara Raku slandered. It's magnanimity, not narcissism. Sakekihara couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Do you know what I'm thinking? Can you read minds? This is not mind reading, it's just a reaction based on my brother's personality and what Chi Minjiao said just now. Tianhai Chi Minjiao raised a rare smile on her lips, and folded her hands in front of her skirt. Brother, you don't want your sister to stay away from you, right? Just tell me what you want me to do. Sakekihara faced it calmly. Tianhai Kaimingyu shook his head. I want to help my brother. Help me. Nanami stood up leisurely. She came to Sakakibara Raku, approached him, leaned into his ear, and whispered. Help brother, attack sister. What's the reason? Sakekihara Raku was not immediately moved. The reason is that my brother needs to pay some price to Chi Minjiao. Tianhai Chi Minjiao sat back on the bed. The relationship between Chi Minjiao and my sister is very good. Even if my brother makes lunch for Chi Minjiao every day, he can't just cheat your sister away at will. Tell me what it is first. 3 years, Tianhai Chi Minjiao stretched out her index finger. Within 3 years, that is, the entire high school period, the elder brother must try his best to satisfy Chi Minjiao's food desires. When she wants to eat anything, the elder brother cannot refuse to do it. She serves. This is nothing. When a Ling asked herself for something to eat, she would mostly cook it for her. But Chi Minjiao thinks of herself as her royal chef. Is your cooking so good? Sakekihara thought he could promise her. No problem, but you can't have more than 3 dishes in one day. Don't worry, brother, Chi Minjiao won't make things difficult for you. Gifts, Tianhai Kaimingyu slowly raised her middle finger. Brother cannot make his own decisions when it comes to giving holiday gifts to his sister. All gifts must be reviewed by Kaimingyu. Why is that? Brother, do you think you, a boy who has never been in love, can give you the right gift? Suppose tomorrow is my sister's and my birthday, what gift will your brother give us both? Sakakihara thought carefully and found that he was completely blank about what he liked about Juliuli and Chi Minjio. Ah, no, Chi Minjio seems to like sharks. He really didn't know what Juliuli liked. You're right. In addition, the review is limited to gifts. Falling in love is a private matter between brother and sister, and Chi Minjio will not interfere. This is good, it doesn't feel like being in a relationship and being monitored. What kind of gift review is more like my own consultation with Chi Minjio? This is easier to accept. No problem. However, he still had no reason to agree to her. Because no matter whether he captures Tianhai Juliuli, whom he secretly loves, it is unlikely to happen. Brother doesn't seem to be very interested in Chi Minjio's proposal. I can only say that I am interested, but there is no decisive factor. Tianhai Chi Minjio smiled lightly and tilted her head slightly, then what if Chi Minjio said that she could help my brother persuade my father to agree? Sakakibara's heart skipped a beat, really? Nana Minjio never lies, nor does he do anything that is uncertain. Brother, think about it. With the blessings of Aunt Sakakibara and father, my sister and brother will live a happy life. My brother can see such a beautiful girl every day. Sister, you can stay sweetly with your sister every day. You go to school together, go home together, participate in club activities together, and date on weekends together. When returning home from a date, the tired sister will lean on her brother's shoulder on the train and close her eyes to rest. And the brother, too, at this time, you can feel the cuddles from your sister and smell the sweet fragrance lingering on your sister. At this time, your brother can put their foreheads against theirs and smile happily. No need to say more. Isn't that what love is all about? Seeking warmth in the ordinary, and getting her response to you from the other person. And it happens that my sister is the kind of girl who is the most responsive to people, and can give timely feedback, no matter what it is. People, if they are with my sister, they will be happy in the end. Ah, it makes me even want to let my sister go. Sakakihara Raku, then, let's establish an agreement and exchange things of equal value, right? Yes, my elder brother will give Chi Minjio the privilege of cooking for 3 years. Chi Minjio will give my elder brother ways to conquer my sister and convince my father when the time is right. Then, I don't have any doubts about this. But for you, Chi Minjio, is 3 years of cooking equivalent to a sister? Tianhai Chi Minjio tilted her head in confusion. Why does brother say that Chi Minjio sold sister for money? Just because brother and sister are in love doesn't mean that sister doesn't love Chi Minjio. My sister and I are twins, even my sister, I know how soft your breasts are, even if dash. Okay, I understand. Sakakibara interrupted her quickly, fearing that she would say something shocking again and whet his appetite. In addition, Tianhai Chi Minjio added, brother, please remember that you must never confess to your sister without Chi Minjio's consent. What's wrong? Brother can choose to ignore Chi Minjio's agreement rule, but it's best not to. Chi Minjio knows my sister far better than my brother. Even if my brother's favor in my sister's heart reaches more than 100%, my sister will still reject you, brother. What happens if you get rejected? Boys who are rejected by their sisters will be subconsciously alienated by their sisters. Such people have never appeared before. Brother, do you agree? You must not confess your love to your sister without Chi Minjio's consent. Sakakihara thought for a moment, raised his head and nodded, yes. Tianhai Kaimingyu smiled, then, the agreement is reached. From today on, brother can safely launch an offensive against sister. Let me tell you, brother, you are actually my sister's favorite type. You are very reliable when needed, care about everyone, and love sports. Sakakihara Raku always felt that Nanamijio's praise of him was a little unkind. After Sakaki Hararaku left the room, Tian Haikaiminyu looked at the place where his back disappeared, folded her hands, and murmured, "I really can't remember anything." Sakakibara came to the living room and kept thinking about what Nanamijiyo said to him. It's definitely good to have a twin sister to help him with advice, but how can he enhance his relationship with Julie Yulai? Sakakibara, who was still a little worried at first, felt relieved after thinking about it. That's right. Which boy doesn't feel distressed when he pursues a girl he has a crush on? Don't get too entangled, it's best to just let things take their own course. Brother Suzu Sakakibara, who was only wearing a white shirt and shorts, suddenly came over and hugged his arm. Do what? What did you do just now? Nana Minjiyo talked to me, and why are you hugging me so tightly? Don't touch your face again. Sakakibara turned his head to the other side and stretched his neck. He. What are you talking about? Sakakihara Suzu took his arm and put her head on his shoulder to look at him. In other words, we discussed some stories. Is it the book you read before? Absolutely. Sakakibara quickly changed the subject. Also, why are you so clingy to me all of a sudden? Do you want to eat again? No, I was just watching TV. Well, I suddenly felt that it would be good to have an older brother. The key is that my brother seems to be more powerful than the heroine's brother, and he can also take care of others. Suzu Sakakihara suddenly swooped down and hugged his neck from behind. He. With his sister pressing his back from behind and holding her neck, Sakakihara Raku felt bad. Did Suzu take the wrong medicine today? If my sister is bullied, brother, you will definitely stand up, right? Which morning drama did you watch again? Just tell me if you can. Sakakihara Suzu let go of his neck, and then lay on his lap coyly, looking at his face from below. It will definitely happen. Sakakihara couldn't bear to see a little bit of her belly exposed when she stretched her waist, so he went to help her hold her hand to cover it. He. That's good, I'll remember it. You said you would buy me a big house before, and you said I could stay at home and not work, but I'll remember it all. Looking at my sister lying on his lap, although I really want to say that you will start a family of your own sooner or later, it will be my turn to raise you. But Suzu showed a particularly soft side today, which reminded Sakakibara of her childhood. In the past, when she went home and rested in the small living room and bedroom after dinner, Aling would always grab herself and act coquettishly, burying her head in her arms. While rubbing it, I smiled and said that I am so nice and that I smell so good. If it had been any earlier, she would have just poked her arm, raised her head and called her brother. She is so cute that when she sees herself coming home at night, she will immediately run towards her. He shouted happily, brother. Thinking of these scenes, Sakakibara couldn't stop his hand and reached out to touch her head. Surprisingly, Suzu didn't resist and let him touch her head. The softness of the hair spreads in the palm of the hand. As I grow up, it seems that these feelings have changed a lot. It's just that she still has that he silly smile on her face. Brother, do what you said before, still count. Sakakihara Suzu sat up again, her short hair being a little messy. That sentence you just said. But now that we have a house, we don't have to worry about food and clothing, Raku Sakakibara said to Suzu Sakakibara, who was sitting cross-legged in front of him. It seems like you don't need me that much anymore, right? That belongs to Mom and Uncle Tianhai. I want you to give it to me alone. Sakakihara laughed and said, you expect your brother to buy you a house and support you for the rest of your life? It's not impossible. What if I don't have that much ability? After graduation, I can only work as an ordinary worker, and even step by step I will be ignored by no one because of illness and high medical expenses. Then as your biological sister, you should reluctantly accept this poor little brother. After all, she will be an angel at the top of the voice acting world in the future. Without the care of the angel, my brother will definitely just stay at home and drink alcohol. The poor thing is so pitiful that this Lord Angel cannot stand it. Sakakibara smiled and said in a gentle voice, I dare to say that I am still just a stinky newcomer. Sakakihara Suzu glared at him, then you are Stinky Lele. Oh, by the way, someone said that he likes me before. Ahem. The one I like is Ashiya Suzaku. Okay, Juliuli has come out of the bath, it's time for me to wash up too. Sakakibara Suzu watched him get up and walk off the sofa, watched him pick up the clothes he had prepared before, and talk to Amami Kuriyuri who had just walked out of the bathroom with steam still coming out of his body. Sakakihara Suzu lay on the backrest of the sofa with her hands, silently looking at the two people talking and laughing in front of her. I don't know what's going on in my head. Amami Nanamajetsu, who walked out of the bedroom at exactly this time, first saw Sakakibara Suzu who was silently dazed, and then saw the two people standing at the bathroom door chatting. She shook her head and sighed. Brother, you are really happy about the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 83. The city of Tokyo is noisy at night. In the neon lights of thousands of fireworks, Sakakibara followed the train from one end to the other, until it disappeared amid the roar. Every time at this time, Sakakihara Raku couldn't help but think to himself. Where did my mother and Uncle Tianhai go to play every night? Looking at the vast moonlight, Sakakihara Raku heard the voice behind him. Before he could recover, he already had an extra coat on his body. Brother, your illness is not completely cured yet. Don't catch a cold in the night wind. Sakakibara pinched the collar of her shoulders, turned around, and saw Amami Kuriyuri in a homely white dress. Her shoulders were slender, and her freshly washed flaxen hair seemed to be wafting with fragrance. The beautiful cheeks are full of girlish innocence. Because she had just put on her coat, her hands were now empty and folded in front of her. Sakakihara couldn't help but look at her twice. Well, brother, you don't have to keep staring at me. Ah, sorry. Sakakihara smiled concealingly and avoided looking. He pulled his jacket over his shoulders in front of him. With the coat blocking it, the outside of the balcony seemed to get a lot warmer. It's just that I suddenly feel uncomfortable. Put on your coat? Is it too abrupt for me to do this? Abrupt? No, besides, Juliuli, you have done all the work like washing my face and wiping my neck, so there is no need to worry about this. When talking about this, Tianhai Juliuli, who has always had a grand personality, also became a little evasive. She probably remembered some of the scenes she encountered yesterday. Seeing this scene, Sakakihara Raku was deeply touched that a creature like a beautiful girl was really foul. Even a slightly shy look in her eyes made her heart throb. Generally speaking, the majestic and smiling Tianhai Juliuli will not be shy, but that's right. No matter how perfect Juliuli is, she is still a girl of only 15 years old, not to mention she is still her own sister. Sakakihara Raku estimated that she unbuttoned a few clothes when she wiped her neck yesterday, so she didn't behave like her usual self. However, her performance was short-lived and fleeting. She quickly returned to her slim standing posture. Brother, you won't mind, right? Since neither Ling nor Chi Minjio can do those jobs, I will do them all. I won't mind at all. I will be very happy to have Juri take care of me when I'm sick. Sakakibara spoke very straightforwardly and candidly. Tianhai Jurili looked back at her slightly rose-colored face, looked at Sakakihara Raku with soft and flashing eyes and said, Actually, this is my first time taking care of a boy like this. Sakakihara was stunned for a moment, not knowing how to answer her embarrassing question. There's nothing embarrassing about it, right? It's not just about wiping my brother's face and neck. Tianhai Juliuli returned his gaze. At that time, when I saw my brother was sweating, I was hesitant to call the doctor over again, but okay, he quickly stabilized in that state, and my brother's illness improved quickly. To be honest, Julie Yulai has already taken care of herself to the point where she is ready to open her mouth. Instead, Sakakihara wanted to thank her. Tomorrow happened to be the sorority party, so why not buy a small gift for Julie Yulai and give it to her while he was out? Oh, by the way, speaking of which, as the elder brother, I haven't given Chi Minjio and Julie Yulai a meeting gift yet. No matter what, they can be regarded as his adopted sisters. What a miscalculation. Julie Yulai, do you like anything? What do you like? What do you mean by brother? It's just things you like. For example, Ailing likes rabbits. The things she buys are basically related to rabbits. Ah, this Tianhai Julie Yulai's eyes drifted into the distance, and after thinking for a while, he looked back with a smile, no. So Julie Yulai, have you ever received a birthday gift before? I have received them before, but they are all too complicated. There are hairpins, earrings that don't need to be pierced, necklaces, women's watches, hand cream, etc. My brother doesn't want to give Julie Yulai a gift, right? Tianhai Julie Yulai smiled at him. Well, you noticed it? There's no need for Julie Yulai. My brother can give Chi Minjio a shark doll. She likes this best. Tell her brother secretly. Tianhai Julie Yulai bent down slightly and lowered his voice. Send a shark doll to Chi Minjio and you can get her a lot. I have a huge favorable impression, although she will definitely not show it in person. To be honest, Julie Yulai, who whispered to herself, was very cute. Brother, is there anything else you want to ask about Kai Mingyu? But why do I suddenly feel that Julie Yulai wants to please Chi Minjio? Could it be that she thought she had a crush on Chi Minjio because of today's wedding photos? There is none left. Sakakibara decisively ended the topic. No, I can't ask any more. If you want to know what Chi Minjio likes, you have to ask Julie Yulai. If you want to know what Julie Yulai likes, you have to ask Chi Minjio. Sakakihara Raku finally figured out this rule. I have a few questions that I want to ask my brother. Well, you tell me. Sakakihara Raku pulled out of his thoughts. For me, does cooking make you happy? I'm not happy, but after doing it for more than 10 years, I can't call it disgusting. It's just a normal feeling. Then why can my brother persist in preparing such elaborate meals for a month? I told you before, right? I can feel happy by preparing food you like. Well, Tianhai Julie Yulai raised his eyebrows, but I think brother should find something to do for himself and set a goal for himself. Why? Because some things have to find meaning for themselves, instead of putting all their energy on the three sisters like now. Although everyone likes the lunchbox that my brother carefully prepares every day, what everyone actually wants to see more. Yes, my brother bravely took the step forward for himself. Sakakibara fell silent. Because what Tianhai Julie Yulai said was absolutely right. Since losing the way to earn money to buy a house, Raku Sakakihara has only one way forward to get into Kyoto University. But this route is not that urgent for him, and the motivation is not very sufficient. Therefore, he focused his short-term energy on his three younger sisters. They need their own care to distract themselves. Why don't you, brother, try to participate in a Kyoto competition? With my brother's strength, there is no problem in getting a better ranking in either the team competition or the individual competition. Arrow? I practice bow and arrow more to relax. I only participate in competitions in junior high school to get the prize money from the county competition. What about running? My brother has been running long-distance running for 10 years, and he is already strong enough. He can even try to participate in Hakone Ikiden once. Hakone. Speaking of which, Raku Sakakibara had been running for so long, but he didn't even think about Hakone at all. But that's a project for college students. Regardless of school or age, we are not very suitable. There are also national Ikiden for high school students. I have learned about this. It is 42 kilometers and has 7 sections. Although it is second only to the legendary Hakone Ikeden, the entire distance is only 1/5 of the 217 kilometers in Hakone. Brother, are you confident enough to run down Hakone Ikeden now? Yes, absolutely yes, although the speed is not top-notch. The first section of Hakone Ikeden is 21.3 kilometers. The best time I ran in the whole distance is 1 hour and 40 seconds. The average pace is 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I was about 3 minutes per kilometer. Between 30 and 20 seconds, you may not be able to complete the entire distance. This result is quite impressive. My brother can definitely be regarded as one of the first echelon players. Seeing that Juliuli only had a cute little expression of praise, Sakakihara smiled happily and said, "Juliuli, you are definitely not bad, at least I have never seen any girl who can run as well as you. No, there are many people who are better than me. You are being humble." It was quiet for a while, and the evening breeze blew slowly. Sakakibara put a hand on the guardrail of the balcony and said, "I understand that you want me to find a new direction for my efforts, Jurulai, but people don't make up their minds and get better immediately, and neither do people. Because immediately set a goal and put all your effort into it. Everything needs subtle changes. For example, my previous dream was to let my family live a good life. The basis of this dream came from not having enough to eat and the huge debt that my family was carrying. It was because I experienced the hard life, so only then can we have the motivation to move forward. This foundation is not built overnight." Sakakibara thought a lot about his life more than 10 years ago. This is also the reason why I have been running long-distance running for 10 years and want to use this to remind myself of my struggle. Tianhaijuli Yulai looked at his figure who was taller than him and whispered, "I feel like my brother's shoulders are always heavy. It's okay. At least heaviness is also motivation. Relaxation makes me very uncomfortable. So, until I find the next goal, please let me continue to live my previous life." "What about brother? Don't you need anything?" This is back to the previous topic. Haha, since Juliuli wants to hear my truth, then I'll just say it frankly, what I long for most is actually the happiness in a family. When I go home, I can see Aling lying on the sofa and telling me that she is hungry. She bought delicious food. I can see Aling saying to me, "Feed me quickly." I also hope that my mother can find her own happiness. There is no need to go home early every morning and fall asleep. Most of these have been realized now, and there are more people in the family, including you, Chi Minjiao and Uncle Tianhai, so I hope to maintain the status quo and maintain family harmony. When I have more free time, I can go find something to do that you really enjoy." After saying such a long series of words, Sakakibara looked at the bustling night sky in Tokyo, smiled and breathed a sigh of relief. Tianhaijuli Yulai was also listening silently, looking at his eyes and his smile when he relaxed his breath. Family. After lowering his eyebrows for a while, Tianhaijuli Yulai suddenly raised his gaze and said to him, "In the future, if you want to talk to someone, you can come to me. A good friend who expresses his feelings." Well, Juliuli hopes that my brother won't always bear the burden of many things alone. No matter what, Ling, Chi Minjiao, and I are all a family now. I also hope to get to know my brother better and help him share the burden. Some responsibility. Sakakihara looked at Night Breeze silently, and had a new understanding of Juliuli's considerateness. If you have any worries in the future, you can talk to her, right? If you really feel tired, go to her and Juliuli will probably take good care of yourself. Even if she doesn't know how to cook, she will cook it carefully, then hold the bowl and bring it to your bedside, calling you to eat in a soft voice. If you feel lonely, you can seek care from her and get comfort from her understanding. This is the so-called care, the warmth you can find in her. Just like how she took care of herself when she was sick yesterday. She understands herself, is considerate of herself, and wants to share some of her troubles with herself. If you look at her again at this time, you will see a sweet and bright smile on her soft face. This is too foul. Sure enough, it is not a good thing for a girl to be too gentle. If you are not careful, you will fall into her trap. Sakakihara Raku no longer wanted to mention that in his 35 years of life, he actually experienced this rare warmth for the first time in Amami Kurayuri's body. Thank you, brother. Sakakibara looked at the Tokyo Tower with orange lights flashing in the distance. After a moment, Amami Kurayuri's small whisper reached his ears. Sakakihara laughed again. Thank you, Juliuli, for being willing to listen to my complaints. Amami Kurayuri's words also made Sakakibara realize that he should find other goals to pursue. Kyoto and running are both good choices. And it made him more convinced of what he was thinking. He liked her very much. Also, what she said just now told her to come to her at any time. Does it mean that I already have a great impression on her? Great, keep it up. Raku Sakakihara washed his face a little and regained his composure. He opened the door and returned to his room. As soon as I came in, I found a group of caterpillars crawling on my bed. What? Sakakihara tilted his head and frowned. No, it should be the caterpillar wrapped in its own quilt that is squirming. Occasionally seeing the foot sticking out of the quilt, Sakakibara immediately knew who it was. What are you doing in my room? Sleep. A muffled sound came from the quilt. Sakakibara stroked his forehead. Is it necessary to come to my room to sleep? The caterpillar moved around for a while, and finally a puffed up face popped out of it. She held Sakakihara Raku's quilt between her hands and said, the bed in my bedroom is broken, so I came to sleep with you. Sakakibara Suzu was still wearing Sakakihara Raku's white shirt. Because the clothes were loose and too big, a large part of her neck was exposed. How could a newly purchased bed break? I don't care, I'm going to sleep here today anyway. Sakakibara Suzu only said this, then she hugged the rabbit doll she brought from her room and fell back on the bed, facing away from Sakakibara Suzu. You are the overlord, right? A biological sister has taken over my bed, what should I do? Sakakibara chuckled and shook his head, then reached out and flicked off the light. Wait. Why did you turn off the light? As expected, Sakakibara Suzu suddenly became anxious as she fell on the bed. In the darkness, Sakakibara Suzu sat up holding the rabbit doll, looking nervously at Sakakibara Raku's undressing action in the moonlight. Sleep, what else can you do? Don't look at what time it is. Sakakihara put down his coat, sat on the edge of the bed, and took off his pants. Foot, come over here and give me some space. Ah! Sakakibara Raku, you are so shameless. You actually took off your pants in front of a girl. Sakakihara Suzu immediately covered her face with both hands, but a small gap was exposed between her middle finger and ring finger. Why are you panicking? I just took a shower and I'm wearing sleeping shorts. Sakakihara looked at her and she immediately looked away. No. You sleep on the floor. There is no reason for me to sleep on the floor when I have my own bedroom. Sakakibara Raku. You, how old are you? You actually want to sleep with your own sister? As soon as Sakakibara Suzu finished speaking, she noticed that Sakakihara Lee's eyes were looking towards her. Even though there was only a little bit of moonlight, when she saw her brother's indifferent face, Sakakibara Suzu couldn't help but turn her head away in fear. Perverted sister, she glanced at him secretly from time to time, and then murmured in a low voice. Sakakibara opened the quilt. First of all, let me explain that I am not a girl lover. Secondly, you came to my room for no reason and stayed on my bed. In the end, you even kicked me out of bed. There is no way in this world. Is there anyone more unreasonable than you? I won't give in anyway. Humph! Sakakihara Suzu snorted softly and crossed her arms. It doesn't matter. If you want to sleep, just sleep. I won't leave today anyway. Okay, then go to sleep. Also, come over and give me some space. Snort. Snort. Sakakibara noticed that Suzu was not making any movement, and happened to see her feet exposed, so he reached out and bent down. Go over there. You. Just say what you say. Why are you tickling me? Sakakihara Suzu's face was flushed with shame and anger, and she quickly took her feet back and hugged them with both hands. I'm talking to you nicely but you won't listen. Sakakibara opened the quilt and sat on his bed, about to lie down. I want to use the pillow. The pillow behind his head was instantly pulled away by Suzu, and the back of Sakakibara's head hit the hard bedboard. Hiss. Seeing her brother in pain, Sakakibara Suzu wanted to express concern immediately, but then she thought of something again and became so angry that she didn't want to say anything. She simply lay down. After a while. Do you really want to sleep together? What? Are you scared? Sakakihara asked with a smile. Yes, there is nothing to be afraid of. It's not like we haven't slept in the same bed together before. Okay, good night then. Sakakibara chose to turn his back, pulled up half of the quilt, and closed his eyes. After seeing her brother not saying a word, Sakakihara Suzu became angry, turned her back and hugged the rabbit doll while humming, and decisively chose to sleep. He also pulled the quilt more toward him. Hey, leave some quilt for me. No, I have to sleep under the quilt. Don't you have a pillow? Go get it yourself. Sakakihara pulled the quilt towards him. My bedroom door is broken. Why is everything broken? It's broken anyway. If you want to build more, that's fine. Just lean more towards me. Sakakihara Suzu put her elbows back and patted the space between the two of them with her palms. Alas, who wants to sleep with you? He only wants to grab the quilt. Sakakibara took the coat that Kururi had put on him and covered him. He ignored Sakakibara Suzu who was sleeping inside and closed his eyes to sleep. Time passed little by little. Sakakihara Suzu is getting more and more impatient in waiting. Why hasn't there been any movement yet? Isn't the smelly brother cold? Turning around and looking over again, the old man was breathing evenly and seemed to be asleep. Finished. You don't really want to sleep here today. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Buletin 11 Huan Tiu Lan. Chapter 84. The moonlight shining into the bedroom became more and more diffuse. Brother. What? Sakakibara closed his eyes. He knew that Suzu was dishonest. He had only been lying there for 5 minutes when she lost her temper. Did you really sleep like this? Well, otherwise. How long was the last time? What last time? It was like last time. Oh, you mean sleeping in the same bed? Sakakihara Suzu pouted angrily, grabbed the rabbit doll's ears, and pulled it up hard. She grunted dissatisfied in her heart. She knew it, so why tell her? Why are you asking this? Sakakihara asked. It's nothing, I just want to miss it, yes, miss it and miss the past. What's there to miss? It's been a few years anyway. It's been like this since junior high school. In the 6th grade, you started to dislike me, so I had to sleep outside. After saying that, Sakakibara covered up his coat again. Sakakibara Suzu looked at his back, remembering the time when she disliked him for sleeping with her, and how she watched her brother sleep alone in a drafty corner near the entrance, holding a thin quilt. His back looks very similar to now. I'm sorry. Sakakihara Suzu's expression became depressed. Why are you apologizing? I shouldn't have disliked you and me before. Who cares about such a trivial matter? Raku Sakakihara waved his hand behind him out of sight, and pointed his thumb towards himself and said, also, I'm just so generous, so you're welcome. The smelly old man is still inexplicably annoying. But Sakakibara Suzu is not too stupid. She actually knows in her heart that Sakakibara Raku said this just to stop herself from being psychologically burdened by the past. Stupid brother. If you're concerned, just say it directly, why bother beating around the bush? But I still feel a little sweet in my heart. Sakakihara Suzu sat up and crossed her legs with her hands. What were you and Julie Yulai talking about just now? Why did you keep laughing after talking for so long? Sakakihara opened his eyes. He understood. He understood why a Ling suddenly wanted to occupy his bed. This is jealous again. Jealousy is troublesome for women. If you don't comfort her, she will definitely get even more angry. If you go to comfort her, you may encounter a thorn in her head. No wonder he comes to his bedroom late at night and refuses to leave. He comes here to seek comfort. Alas, Aling, this is jealousy between sisters, nothing more than I'm unhappy, come and pay attention to me. In order to understand Sakakihara Suzu's thoughts, Sakakihara thought for a moment. My sister, who has been dependent on me since childhood, was chatting and laughing with her new brother on the balcony, ignoring herself. Okay, it hurts. It's nothing, it's just that Julie Yulai made a suggestion to me and told me not to be so tired. Oh, my new sister, I care about my brother very much. Ahem, that's just out of my sister's concern. Suzu Sakakihara covered half of her face with her arms, only revealing her eyes to look at his back lying on her side, and said, with a new sister, there is no need for a real sister, right? That's right, no matter what kind of invincible beautiful girl the sister is, it gets annoying after watching her for a long time, and I don't think she's cute at all. Sakakihara Raku couldn't help but complain about her. You are too narcissistic. But when she's cute, she's really cute. Especially today when I came home and suddenly asked me to act like a spoiled brat, I smiled silly at myself. Hey, hee hee. I never felt that way. Then why did you run to chat with Julie Yulai as soon as you saw her coming out of the shower? Well, isn't her figure a little better than mine? Sakakihara Raku's head was filled with dark thoughts. Sing is also an idiot. Why do you think that way about everything? Stupid, stupid, Sakakihara Suzu shouted, you are stupid. I am very smart. Smart people don't call themselves smart. Sakakibara suddenly felt a foot kick on his back. What? Go away, I don't want you to sleep next to me. Okay, you actually took revenge because I called you stupid, right? Since Ailing you are ruthless and have no regard for our relationship as brother and sister for more than 10 years, then I will show my hand. Sakakibara slapped the bed and sat up sternly. What are you going to do? Sakakihara Suzu saw him stand up in an instant, lowering his upper body to look at her, then huddled timidly towards the corner of the bed, and covered half of his face with a rabbit doll in fear. I am your biological sister. What? Sakakibara stared at her, reached out with his right hand, grabbed it, and pulled out the pillow from under her head. I sleep on the floor. Whatever I do, this will be all right. Sakakihara Suzu watched him get out of bed, put on slippers, turn on the light, take out the quilt from the closet, and lay abed in less than a few seconds. Okay, good night. Sakakibara Suzu stared at Sakakibara Raku sleeping at the speed of light, and fell into suspicion. However, she still doesn't want to sleep at all. She stepped off the bed with bare feet, came to Sakakibara's bed, knelt down slowly, and pushed him with both hands. Brother. Sakakibara narrowed his eyes and waved his hands. Go to sleep, Don't disturb me, I will feel better. Talk to me, I can't sleep yet. Do you want me to tell you another story? You're not young anymore, so you shouldn't be curious about it anymore. Do you want to hear strange tales from a Chinese studio or Sadako vs Kayako? Sakakihara Suzu blushed, who wants you to tell me a story? Besides, you know how to scare me with ghost stories. If you want to hear it, I'll tell you. Anyway, why don't you come over to me if you're scared? You still say you want my brother to hold me, and I want my brother to hold me. I didn't say that. He understood that the so-called sister means that when she grows up, she can throw away all the things she said before. Sakakihara turned over and looked at her face that was half illuminated by the moonlight. He paused for a moment. Grown up? What? Sakakihara Suzu didn't hear clearly. It's nothing. Do you have any worries at work that you want to tell me? Don't worry, as my brother, I will help you scold everyone you don't like. You're kind. Sakakihara Suzu cooed sweetly in her heart. Then what if I hate you, Lele? Then you think I didn't say anything? Sakakihara rolled his eyes and turned back again. Don't sleep, Lele, Lele, Lele. Sakakihara Suzu panicked when she saw that he didn't want to talk to her, and continued to push his arm. Sakakihara turned over and interrupted her. Oh, okay, okay. Just tell me what you want me to do before you let me sleep. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? Sakakibara held his sleepy head and glanced at the petite Sakakihara Suzu in front of him. No, go to bed. Sakakihara pulled on his coat. Lele, Lele, Lele. Sakakihara felt his body shaking and sighed helplessly. He took out the silver pocket watch he had received before and took a look at it. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. The voice calling me Lele from behind was simply black and white and impermanent. It's terrible to have a younger sister. Tomorrow I have to go out with Fujino and the others to a sorority party. We have to gather at 9 o'clock and have to sleep for 8 hours. No, go to bed early. If you eat late night snacks, you will gain weight. I'm not afraid. I won't do late night snacks. Besides, Aling is an idiot. Idiot. Stinky Lele is the idiot. I'm very smart. Great, hooked. Sakakihara turned his back to her, coughed twice and continued, ahem, since you are so smart, why don't you go find food by yourself? Ben, this angel is too lazy to do it myself. You do not believe. You really don't believe it? I believe it, I believe it. You just don't believe it? Just wait. I'll get something to eat myself. Sakakibara Suzu was not wearing any shoes and was barefoot. She opened the door angrily and walked to the living room. Sakakibara Raku yawned and waited for about 8 minutes. Sakakibara Suzu walked in holding a can and a pot of freshly boiled water. Humph, she angrily put everything on the desk. Sakakihara reluctantly opened his eyelids to take a look at her. Oh, lotus root starch. I'll do it myself, I don't need your help. Okay, wise angel. Sakakibara narrowed his eyes again. After 3 minutes, he wanted to see how the preparation of Aling's lotus root powder was going. Stand up. Sakakibara Raku came up behind Sakakibara Suzu and took one look, unable to hold back his laughter. Ha ha ha, aren't you very smart? Why did your lotus root starch turn into lotus root starch soup? What? To make lotus root starch, you need to use 100-degree hot water. I was slow just now and used 99-degree water, so I failed. I'm very smart, so I just boil another pot of water. Suzu Sakakibara full of confidence. Yes, Sakakibara couldn't help but smile. Probably because she knew that she had failed, Sakakihara Suzu felt extremely angry when she heard his smile. But it's okay, it's okay. This angel is very generous. Sakakihara Suzu crossed her hands with sparkling eyes. Are you looking down on me again? But it's understandable. Idiots are always jealous of geniuses. I'm not looking down on you, I just want to remind you that you obviously have too much water. Sakakihara Suzu glanced at the lotus root starch soaked in soup in the bowl. The more she thought about it, the more something was wrong. She puffed up her cheeks and stirred it with a spoon. Humph, you must be trying to lie to me again. What lie to you? It's not obvious. No road race. Tell me to shut up? Well, I'll wait for you to soak. Sakakibara Raku silently waited for Sakakibara Suzu to work on her late-night snack alone. He watched her go out for 5 minutes and then come back with a pot of hot water and a bowl. Start your second try. This time she put hot water first and then poured in lotus root starch. As soon as Sakakihara Raku saw the slightly excessive proportion, she knew that she was definitely going to fail again. Sure enough, after she stirred it a few times, the lotus root starch became thick but not watery. Although the situation was better than before, not only was the taste gone, but the color was also wrong. The lotus root starch is transparent when prepared, but the lotus root starch she prepared appears pure white. Sakakihara Suzu pursed her lips as she faced another masterpiece of her own. Raku Sakakihara smiled and said nothing. Sakakihara Suzu figured it out. Humph, there must be something wrong with the lotus root starch you bought, bro. Well, yes, that's right. No, there's something wrong with your lotus root starch, I won't brew it anymore. Then, Raku Sakakihara watched his sister return to bed glumly, hugging the doll, curling up, covering her hungry belly, trying to sleep motionlessly. 10 minutes passed. Have you slept? If not, just take it and eat it. Don't cry that you're hungry. Sakakibara Suzu turned around and saw a bowl of nutty lotus root starch handed over by Sakakibara Raku. She glanced twice, then grabbed it in her hand, taking the spoon at the same time. The lotus root starch is very thick and contains many walnuts and nuts. It tastes milky and has a faint scent of osman thus. When she smelled the fragrance, she knew that she had indeed failed. She didn't speak and just ate. Be careful of scalding, Raku Sakakihara sat next to her and said with a smile, there was indeed something wrong with the package of lotus root starch just now. I went out and opened a new package to prepare this bowl. If you think I'm stupid, just think I'm stupid and look for any excuse. I feel guilty. Sakakibara suddenly became serious. What? Ailing, you are 15 years old, but you can't even make a lotus root starch. But I don't blame you, after all, you have never made anything. Secretly calling me stupid again. Julie Yulai and Chi Minjiao are not much better. They don't know how to cook either. They all rely on me to cook for them. It's true that Chi Minjiao doesn't know how to cook, and Julie Yulai's cooking is not very delicious. Also, what are they doing all of a sudden? Slightly. After making a face, Sakakibara Suzu finished eating the lotus root starch in a few times despite the scalding temperature, and then pushed the bowl back to him. I'm full, I'm going to bed. Okay then, good night. Good night. Suzu Sakakihara hugged her doll and stared at her brother as he put away the dishes and walked out of the bedroom again. He directly pulled the quilt over his head and simply went to sleep. Suzu Sakakihara listened intently as he went to the kitchen to put things away, then returned to the bedroom to turn off the lights and go to sleep. After waiting for about a few minutes, the moonlight became darker. Elder brother. Don't say you're not full again, go to bed quickly. What, I'm just caring about you. How about you come up and sleep? Sakakihara opened his eyes for a moment, then continued to sleep with his eyes closed. No need. You really don't need it? It'll be 2 o'clock until the inking begins again. When Sakakihara Suzu heard that he rejected her answer, she didn't know why she felt empty. She kneaded the sheets in her arms into a ball and clamped her legs tightly. After becoming a little comfortable and at ease like this, she slowly closed her eyes. Fall asleep. Who cares about sleeping with you? May 3rd, the next morning. Sakakibara opened his eyes, picked up the pocket watch on the ground and looked at the time. 8 o'clock. Fortunately, it's still early. He tried to brace himself and get ready for the new day. He turned over and was about to wake up Sakakihara Suzu, who was sleeping on his big bed. Aling. What caught his eye was the peaceful sleeping form of Suzu Sakakihara. She slept beside him. Ah no, it's a messy sleeping appearance. Her short hair was messy and her clothes were also messy. The shirt on her stomach was unbuttoned, and her pink belly button was exposed. Apart from knowing that she was his sister, Sakakihara Raku couldn't see anything girlish about her. Who can relate her appearance to her radiant, confident, and beautiful appearance in front of the screen? The monthly card task also asked me to feed her and dress her. Didn't this make her a useless person? Ah, no. She was now half made of waste. She even wore her own shirt to sleep, and I didn't know what to say to her. We agreed that we wouldn't care about each other at all. With confusion, Sakakihara picked up the sheet that was loose around her slim waist and pulled it up, preparing to let her continue to sleep for a while. At this time the door was opened. Brother, get up and cook for me. Ah, Nanami raised her gaze slightly and looked at Sakakibara Raku lifting the sheet over Sakakibara Suzu's exposed belly. Brother and sister Chan have a really good relationship. Sakakibara held up one hand, smoothly put down the sheet Suzu was hanging in the air, sat up cross-legged, and said to her seriously. Chi Minjio, things are definitely not what you think. I understand. Obviously, it's not what you think. Tian Haikaimingu held her chin and thought. I see. Chi Minjio and sister? Then brother should be the kind of man who can be accepted by any size. Evidence. To sum up, everything is acceptable. You are right. Besides, brother, after seeing Sister Chan's belly, get up and cook quickly. I'm hungry. As Tian Haikaimingu closed the door, it was as if the misunderstanding he had just encountered had never happened. Instead, Sakakibara fell into deep thought. Logically speaking, Chi Minjio's reaction just now should have been great. But why did she react so coldly? Should it be said that she was overly rational or had a cold personality? The more I think about it, the more I fear. Sakakibara gave up thinking and prepared to continue covering Isuzu with a sheet because she was so cold that she shrank down. What are you doing? Tie you up with a quilt. There was silence for a while. Damn girl, Suzu Sakakihara pulled the sheet from his hands and glared at him fiercely. Get out quickly, I'm going to change clothes. Are you going out today? I don't want to talk to you about the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 85. The meeting time agreed upon with Fujino and the others was 9 o'clock in the morning. Because it was a sorority, he reminded himself that even if he wasn't chatting with girls, he still had to dress up to look good. Even if he didn't say it, Sakakihara Raku would do a little bit of hair and tidy up his clothes. After eating breakfast and washing the dishes with Kuruori, Sakakibara Raku went out. I checked my points halfway. Existing points, 174,030. The temporary task of Chi Minjio last time, plus this month Juliuli completed several targets of Hanafuda this month. Sakakihara Raku didn't expect that his savings would actually reach around 1.74 million. Tomorrow is Monday. Sakakibara will see if he can find any better skills in the mall to reduce his burden. He has been really tired recently. Walking on the street, Sakakihara Raku glanced at Sakakihara Suzu who was walking in front. Sakakibara Suzu dressed up very fashionably when she went out today. She also put on the clothes that Sakakibara Raku bought for her, a casual jacket, a beige student sweater, a light-colored short skirt, and a pair of sneakers that were blue on the left and red on the right. The two of them boarded the tram almost all the way. Sakakihara Suzu didn't take the initiative to speak, and Sakakihara Raku also didn't take the initiative to speak. Go your own way. Why are you following me? Finally, when the train was about to start, Sakakihara Suzu couldn't help but ask him. Raku. Sakakihara looked at the overpass scenery outside the car window. Who is following you? I made an appointment with my classmate to go out. Your two new high school friends. It's been a month, so we don't count as new acquaintances. What are you going to do? Didn't Aling say you didn't want to talk to me? If you don't speak, Sakakihara Suzu muttered softly. The tram started to move and the carriage shook. Change to the middle line to the Jayamanoti line inner loop and get off at Ueno station. The two got off the tram simultaneously. Huh? Why are you still following me? Sakakihara laughed and said, didn't you realize that we both have the same destination? Impossible, it was Amano-chan who asked me to go out to play together. What does that have to do with you? Suzu. Sakakihara realized something. Wait. You are not here to attend the sorority party too, are you? Obviously, this is the only possible answer. What's going on with that strange look in your eyes? It's unbelievable that this man who spends all his time studying, cooking, archery and running would come to such a party. Everything is possible. Maybe I'm in love now. You can't talk about love. Why isn't it possible? It's just impossible. Sakakihara Suzu's voice became smaller and smaller as she spoke. Isuzu. Sakakihara Raku felt that she had been struggling with something since the morning and said nothing. Brother, let me tell you, if you didn't have me, would you be better off? Sakakibara stopped in Ueno station, and looked at her seriously. Why do you think so? Because I'm troublesome, aren't I? I can't cook or cook. I'm not as smart as Chi Minjio, and I'm not as gentle as Julie Yulai. I've been holding you back for more than 10 years. Until now, if I hadn't received in my last job, I could get a salary of about 10,000 yen a week at most. If you didn't have me, you would be better off, right? Sakakihara Suzu's eyes became more and more evasive as she spoke, and the more she spoke, the less she dared to look at him. The stupid sister actually realized her shortcomings. Sakakihara Suzu suddenly felt a hand on her head. She slightly raised her purple eyes and looked at Sakakihara Raku, who stretched out her hand. He smiled and said, "That's why I said you are an idiot, Ling. Why are you talking about me again? Am I wrong?" Under the suspicious gazes of some passers-by at the station exit, Sakakibara put away the hand on her head and coughed twice. "Let's talk as we walk." High and wide canopies have been erected throughout Ueno station, and the ground is covered with reflective marble, with yellow blind paths crisscrossing it. On both sides, you can see many high-end cake shops, milk tea shops, and various coffee shops decorated in warm colors. Occasionally, you can find promotional posters for Ueno Zoo on a few banners. Compared to the station, this place is more like a mature business district. The weather is good today. Most of the pedestrians passing by are wearing casual clothes and smiling. There are also many couples discussing their next travel plans. Do you know what it's like to live alone? Have no idea. In a person's life, no one will talk to you or discuss with you. You will repeat boring life day by day, living one day in order to survive the next. Not only will no one care about you when you are sick, but you will also be blamed for why you don't continue. Work hard. If you are surpassed by others, what else do you think you can achieve? Raku. Sakakihara spoke sharply, as if imitating someone's tone. He suddenly smiled. Many times, I don't know what I am working for. Living. Living, there don't seem to be many happy things, and there are no people who care about me, so why should I still live? I don't know why, it seems that after exerting all my strength and then going home and lying down, I can feel more at ease. Brother, where did you hear the story? Tell it as if it were you yourself. Haha, just take it as what I said casually from the perspective of the person involved. Think I'm a fool again? I didn't really think you were stupid, Ailing. I said you were stupid because I just thought you were cute. You obviously care about me in your heart, but you insist on saying you don't care about me. I just think you're cute. Let me continue. At that time, I raised the bow for 12 hours continuously every day. In the summer, the temperature was 40 degrees. When I raised the bow, aimed, and released the arrow, I could see sweat dripping from the corner of my eye with every movement. I could feel the soreness in my muscles every time I drew the bow. I refilled several bottles of sunscreen and hit my face with cold water several times, but some people still fainted from heat stroke, not to mention that there were unbearable physical activities such as sprinting and push-ups. Training, you know. At that time, in order to stimulate us, only those with the highest target scores could go indoors to rest and enjoy the air conditioning. The purpose was to temper the will, temper the character, and temper the spirit. Yes, this was indeed very effective, and everyone's performance improved. They are all very happy when they are promoted. They all have families and have the basic motivation to move forward, but I don't. At this time, I will think, what will happen in the future? What will I do in the future? I have worked hard all my life just to get a gold medal. Is a gold medal meaningful to me? Will I feel happy after I get the gold medal? I changed my mind and decided to live for myself. However, even if I changed my mind, I found that I still had nothing I needed. I was bored with everything. Others didn't need me at all. There was no one around me. At this time, I was even more confused. I didn't know why or what I should do for whom. I could only continue to repeat the boring days before. Sakakibara Raku looked at Sakakibara Suzu. Her voice was very low. How do I know what to do? That person's life. Well, Ailing, do you know what I've been dreaming about for more than 10 years? Want money and a big house. What do I want with money and a big house? In the crowded Ueno station, Sakakihara Suzu suddenly raised her head, paused, and stared at him closely. You don't need me to say more about the rest, right? Sakakihara smiled, looked straight ahead, and continued walking forward. Sakakihara Suzu followed him with quick steps and asked excitedly, do you really think so? Ailing, many times the sacrifice is in the dark side, where you can't see it. The same is true when you need someone. I watched you grow up, watched you call me brother again and again, watched you got into my bed, looked at you holding your face and asking me to tell you a ghost story, and watched you curl up into a ball and sleep peacefully next to me. Sakakihara laughed heartily. Haha, let me be honest with you. No matter how you call me brother, need me, and rely on me, as a family member, you are the driving force for me to move forward for more than 10 years. I just like the way you act coquettishly when you beg for food. I just like the way you are a little complacent and then look smug in front of me. Although it may be a little annoying occasionally, any awkwardness, quarrels, anger with each other, etc. are all it's just a small thing, just a momentary unhappiness. There is no reason. You are my sister. I hope you become better and happier. We are at? Ailing, why are you standing behind? Only then did Sakakihara Raku realize that Sakakibara Suzu had not followed. He turned back from the stairs and found Sakakibara Suzu standing below, her head lowered, and her expression could not be seen clearly. Then, he watched with his own eyes as Sakakihara Suzu walked up the stairs step by step until she stood on the stairs one step shorter than him, stretched out a right fist and pressed it against his chest. Tram announcement: the ordinary trains from Jai-Yamanote Line Inner Loop Line to Umi are about to depart, and the ordinary trains from Jai-Yamanote Line Inner Loop Line to Umi are about to leave. Jai tram on the Yamanote Line Inner Loop Line is about to depart. Guests who have not boarded the train in time are asked to go back to the inside of the white line and wait. Please do not walk on the edge of the platform to avoid danger. Please pay full attention to your steps. Sakakihara Suzu was silent for a long time. She did not speak. Following her silence, the tourists entering and leaving Ueno station suddenly became blurred around the two figures. Let's talk, how about it? Why? I will be your sister. Well, wouldn't it be nice for me to be your brother? If you are an irresponsible guy, I can drive you far away and never see you again. In this case, no one will make you the beef curry you like. You can buy those kinds of things at any time. Suzu Sakakihara lowered her head and frowned, but, I've actually tried them all. It's all your fault that those things have no taste at all. It makes my mouth feel strange. Also. Yes. I'm sorry about what happened last night. A Suzu's apology is really rare. Are you afraid there will be a heavy snowfall in May? Raku Sakakihara glanced at the bright sky. I only have you as my brother in this life, can't I apologize to you? Sakakihara Suzuki looked at him with a stern face. Also, I've already apologized, so please stop joking. Sakakihara Raku looked at half of Sakakihara Suzu's face that was bulging like a hamster, and laughed happily. Sakakihara Suzu, how can I go to a sorority party in this kind of mood? Then be happy. Also, why are you going to the sorority party with me, brother? Haha, isn't this bad? Anyway, we only come out to eat and drink. If we two people know each other, we won't be harassed so easily. You are my brother, and your relationship with other classmates is different. Isn't it the first time you and your brother went out to a sorority party and you became happy? It's strange, very strange, very strange. Haha, I'm just so happy in my heart. I know you are an arrogant brother-in-law, ailing. What? Stinky Lele is also a tsundere. A tsundere girl. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 86. Chapter 86. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 87. Yo. Sakakibara. Before Sakakibara crossed the zebra crossing, he saw Fujino Yoshiyuki on the other side raising his right hand to greet him. This guy is always full of energy. He dressed himself up in a Japanese style today, with a small brown windbreaker, a casual t-shirt, and even a pair of glasses with unknown prescription. In order to cover his short hair, he even wore a casual hat. This guy went from being a hot-blooded idiot to being a real person? Is that your classmate? Sakakihara Suzu asked from the side. Yes, but don't believe what he is like now, it is definitely fake. Sakakihara Suzu obviously didn't care about this. By the way, we will definitely be recognized when we pass by later, right? And Xin, didn't you say that people at school have known about our brother-sister relationship for a long time? That must be limited to our class. This matter will definitely not spread too widely soon. Are you ashamed that you have a brother? What are you talking about? I said it was for your future. Oh, I've said it so many times, I won't say it anymore. The two stopped in front of the zebra crossing and were blocked by the crowd. Hurry up and cheer up now. What are you doing? Sakakihara Suzu's face puffed up, as if she had eaten 2 lumps of steamed buns. Cute. Snort. There are students from 2 schools in this sorority, so there are not too many people. Fujino Yoshiyuki, Nishijima Ogai, Suzu's classmate Sakai Kateno, Fujino's childhood sweetheart Kiyosawa Otanoha, as well as 3 unknown girls and 3 unknown boys. Counting Sakakihara Raku and Sakakihara Suzu. 6 men and 6 women, a total of 12 people. Fujino and Nishijima's eyes bulged out when they saw Raku Sakakibara coming with a beautiful girl with short hair. "Hey, Nishijima, who is that next to Sakakibara?" He nudged Nishijima Daki next to him with his elbow. Nishijima pushed up his glasses and frowned. "It seems, she's from our school, a girl from class 2. She's quite popular. You actually know him. Do you know his name?" "I don't know her. How dare I talk to her? I just saw her accidentally and was quite impressed. I just knew she was from class 2. Fujino thought about it. The classmate Sakaichi and brought by Xiao's classmate seems to be in the 1st and 2nd classes of our school. Do you want to ask her?" "No, Sakai-san seems to be very shy and doesn't want to talk to us." "That's right. Just now, when a few boys greeted her as if they were ordinary acquaintances, her eyes were evasive." "Did Sakakibara say that he would bring girls to the sorority party before?" "No. Damn it, we are actually in love, and we found someone so beautiful." "Nishijima Ogai, hey, you have a childhood sweetheart girlfriend, who are you qualified to say this? Do you know that I, a person who has not spoken to a girl for 3 years in junior high school, am sandwiched among a bunch of glamorous girls? How uncomfortable was it?" "Of course I know. Aren't there a few boys in the school next door who are in the same situation as you? So didn't I also call Sakakibara over? I just didn't expect him to rebel." While the two were talking, Sakakihara Raku and Sakakihara Suzu had already passed the traffic light intersection and came here to meet everyone. "Good morning," Sakakibara Fujino tried not to ask who the female companion he was bringing was. "Good morning, I'm not late, am I?" When you said this, there was a 2-second timeout. Fujino carefully looked at Sakakihara Suzu, who was standing next to Sakakibara Raku. He was really curious, but he didn't dare to ask. Kiyosawa Otoha smiled and waved. "Good morning, Sakakihara-kun." "Good morning." Sakakihara replied generously, and then politely greeted other people he didn't know. In the eyes of these two friends, this is simply a model of cash deposit. 2 girls from Sacred Heart Women's College noticed Fujino when he greeted Sakakibara just now. What a great figure. Sakakihara Suzuya accidentally noticed 3 completely unknown girls looking at her brother. I knew this sorority wouldn't be too happy to get along with. Since most people didn't know each other, everyone's first meeting was a bit awkward. Kiyosawa Otoha and Fujino Yoshiyuki are the stewards of this sorority. That is, the organizer. Fortunately, under the leadership of the 2 of them, no, it was actually under the leadership of Kiyosawa Otoha alone, and everyone got to know each other. The glamorous and angelic Suzu Sakakihara attracted much attention when she revealed her last name and identity. Fujino and Nishijima, who were waiting at the back, were so shocked that their jaws dropped. "Sakakibara, do you have a sister? Or a beautiful girl sister?" Even the other boys in the sorority couldn't help but look at Sakakibara Raku a few more times. Those eyes seemed to be shouting, "You are my uncle. What the hell is it like to bring your sister to a sorority?" Regarding this question, Sakakihara Raku was prepared in advance and gave an explanation. Sakakihara Suzu was invited by Sakai Kateno, and she was invited by Fujino. The 2 just happened to get together. Everyone suddenly realized that this was the case. On the way to their destination, 12 people stood waiting at the intersection. I remember, Nishijima Oi, who was behind, had an expression that seemed like he suddenly realized something. He made a fist with his right hand and hammered it on the palm of his left hand. "What do you remember?" Fujino asked. Who is Sakakihara Suzu? Huh. Have you known this guy for a long time? Fujino clamped his arm. For the new show in July this year, my sisters are the strongest rulers in the world. The animation production team specially promoted the selection of 2 newcomers for the 5 heroines, and Saka-san is one of them. I heard that he is a 15-year-old high school voice actor, and I was paying attention to him before. Voice actor? Real or fake? Wait a moment, let me take a look. Nishijima Oki took out his mobile phone and found Suzu Sakakibara's work account among more than 3,000 followers on Twitter. Scroll down, and in the feed, I see a photo of her dubbing at work. Yabai, the photos are beautiful, and she is much cuter than she is in reality. Why does Sakakibara have a sister, Fujino Yoshiyuki, who leaned over, almost shouted in surprise, his teeth itching with jealousy, but Nishijima, what about you? What an opportunity. What chance is there? Last time, didn't you Siang Xiaolin, fail. This time the opportunity comes again. From now on, you will follow Sakakibara, hold his legs and call him uncle. Uncle. There will definitely be fun. Nishijima Ogai glanced at him, Sakakibara aside, do you dare to go up and talk to Saka-san? What's wrong with that? Oh, standing in front of Minister Tianhai, this is not what you do. Minister Tianhai. Fujino Yoshiyuki felt cold all over, shuddered, and immediately chose to shut up. Sakakibara-san should be easier to talk to, right? That's not certain. Nishijima Ogai looked at Kiyosawa Otoha, who was presiding over the crowd and introducing today's activities and arrangements to everyone. Oh Fujino, I don't know what Kiyosawa-san likes about you and is willing to date you. Damn it, you guy, stop looking down on others. Aren't you the same? I'm different. I know myself, so I didn't choose to date a girlfriend. I also decisively chose to give up after knowing the identity of Senior Xiaolin. Fujino, you should try to develop your confidence. A man needs to have his own charm. Nishijima shrugged helplessly. TCH, if you hadn't been in love before, I would have almost believed it. The first activity of the sorority is to get to know each other and introduce ourselves. The group of people came to a soba noodle restaurant that had been booked in advance. Half of the restaurant had an open-air private room, surrounded by greenery, bluestones, and moss, and a small bridge and flowing water to enjoy. On a long table, boys on one side and girls on the other, introduced themselves one by one. When it was Sakakihara Suzu's turn, many boys looked at her involuntarily. Chitano Sakai, who was afraid of strangers, lowered her gaze in panic, while Suzu Sakakihara introduced herself to everyone in a normal way, with a smile on her beautiful face. Hello everyone. My name is Sakakibara Suzu. I am a first and second grade student at Akita Junior High School. I am 15 years old. I am also a young voice actor. If possible, I hope you can come to Twitter to support my activities. Please give me your support care. Her self-introduction was full of confidence and charm. At the same time, she clenched her fists and put them in front of her to make a gesture of working hard. She is already a beautiful girl like an angel, and she looks even more beautiful when she smiles. The boys on the men's team opposite looked a little shy under the light of her smiling face. Opposite me, Sakakibara Raku complained in his mind that you were never very motivated at home. But Aling's greetings are indeed top-notch. She does this every day in the company. At a sorority party, it is difficult to introduce yourself. Many boys' self-introductions are very rigid. In most cases, they only give their name, school, and age. This reminded Sakakibara of the sorority party he attended in his previous life. This is also how boys and girls sit across from each other, chatting, playing activities, not knowing each other, and holding hands. Exploding with embarrassment. Many boys complained in disgust, "Ah, you want to hold hands? Why do you want to play with this? The most embarrassing thing is that the host asks the person involved to tell the person in front of everyone who he has the most favorable impression of the opposite sex. And let the person of the opposite sex comment on their feelings about themselves. At that time, Sakakibara Raku still remembered that there was a hand-holding game in the social group. The girls next to him were not willing to hold hands with one of the boys, and he was the only one in the row who was disconnected. Embarrassed enough to fly. Fortunately, there are no such embarrassing games in the sorority party. After introducing yourself, chat freely and play a mini-game of mind clearance. The mini-game is to hold a lot of water balloons and each one is carried by the referee. Set a number within 100. Participants stand under the water polo and report the number within 100 at will. Numbers above 50 cannot be greater than the number stated by the previous participant. Below 50, vice versa. For example, the water ball burst value is set to 56. Participants shouted 71. The next person can only shout numbers within 1-71. Participants shouted 34. The next person can only shout numbers within 34-71. The range will continue to shrink until finally one unlucky guy steps on a thunderbolt and a water ball explodes above his head. The key to this game is its fast pace. If it's not your turn during the counting, you will feel like you got away with it. It will give people a great sense of pleasure. The atmosphere in the stadium became cheerful because there was Fujino, an unlucky guy who kept yelling 50, and was hit over the head 6 times with water balloons. At the same time, in this game, Sakakihara Suzu also noticed that several girls kept leaning around Sakakihara Raku. While waiting in line, he smiled and reached out to accidentally touch his arm and wipe it. In particular, a girl with long black hair has been looking at him intentionally or unintentionally. This made Sakakihara Suzu feel very unhappy. After the game is over, change your clothes again, wipe your hair, and it's time to eat. The residual heat that the game has become active has not completely dissipated. After the previous contact, many boys and girls became acquainted with each other and started to have a great conversation. How many times have you been hit just now? 3 times, so unlucky. What about you? I didn't get hit. I'm so envious. By the way, where are you, Hirayama-kun? Yeah, just once. They're all so awesome. The entire fraternity became lively. Sakakihara Raku just sat quietly in his seat drinking tea. Kiyosawa Otoi called the waiter to order. Raku Sakakibara took the menu. His taste is on the heavy side. A triple thick shinsha beef soba, a mini pork chop, and a glass of orange juice. The waitress standing in front of the long table checked the boxes and nodded with a friendly smile. Okay, guest, is that all? Yes, Sakakibara nodded. The boys took their turn one by one, and when they reached the queue of girls on the opposite side, the first one spoke. 1 triple thick sauce shinsha beef soba noodles, 1 mini pork chop, and a glass of orange juice. Thank you, the waitress. In an instant, everyone in the girls' team looked towards the girl with long black hair on the left. The black-haired girl smiled tactfully. Suzu Sakakihara on the other side frowned briefly. The boys' team was basically unaffected and continued chatting with acquaintances. Only Nishijima Ogai pushed up his glasses frame and caught the eyes of the girls' team. The clerk immediately noticed something was wrong in the atmosphere and took a quick look. She could also understand why. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. After almost 10 years, the sorority was still the same. Horrible. Sakakihara sighed inwardly, secretly thinking that something was wrong. Girls nowadays are a bit too proactive. The ordering process continued, and it was Sakakihara Suzu's turn. She sat upright, her figure was so bright and sparkling, as reserved as an angel coated with gold foil. She said in a soft voice. A triple thick shinsha beef soba, a mini pork chop, and a glass of orange juice. um. In an instant, all the girls looked at Sakakihara Suzu, and even the black-haired girl was stunned. The marker in the clerk's hand froze in mid-air. She smiled, dogged X2 and wrote X3. The girls' side seemed to be in a raging war, but except for Nishi's Hima, everyone in the boys' queue was still chatting about their own things and playing with their mobile phones. Well, dear guests, I'll take my leave now. If you need anything else, please ring the bell in the room. The food will be ready soon. With a polite bow from the clerk, she closed the private room door. The atmosphere in the private room suddenly became strange. As the officer of the sorority, Kiyosawa Otanoha began to think about the purpose of Sakakihara Suzu calling out triple thick shincha beef soba noodles. From the meeting just now, she learned that Sakakibara Suzu and Sakakibara Raku were siblings. The relationship looks good. And that black-haired girl is her classmate and best friend, Hashimona. Of course she understood what Hashimona meant. By ordering the same dishes as the boy, she expressed that she had the same taste as him. In a sorority party, this is extended to "I am interested in you." At the same time, you can also tell other girls in the sorority that you have a crush on that boy. If you want to take action, you need to understand. Hashimona's speaking skills are flawless and tactful. As for Sakakihara Suzu, Kiyosawa Otoi thought for a while. It dawned on her. It should be a hint to everyone that her brother cannot fall in love now. Kiyosawa Nitoi knew that in schools like Meide Education School, the rules for students there were basically very strict. This is most likely the case for the Sakakihara family. But that's not right. Last time we met, didn't Sakakibara-kun say that he may be falling in love next month? Ask Fujino. He also said that Sakakibara-kun has the idea of falling in love. Kiyosawa Otoi fell into thinking, but the more she thought about it, the more confused she became. For what purpose did Sakakihara Suzu shout the same thing as the two of them? Not only Kiyosawa Neha, but also the girls present grunted in their hearts, and all kinds of speculations were arranged on the purpose of Sakakihara Suzu shouting those words. Thoughts like "it can't be my brother's control," came up one after another. When girls are quiet, boys naturally become quiet as well. For a moment, the air in the entire private room became as heavy as cement pouring. Only the sound of gurgling water outside the private room rang in my ears. Hey, everyone suddenly stopped talking. Fujino, who had just been checking his cell phone, realized that something was not right in the atmosphere. He quickly put away his cell phone, then lowered his head and asked Nishijima next to him. What's going on? I just finished ordering the meal, and it's so quiet so soon. Nishijima Oki just shook his head. So, Fujino, you are not suitable for the sorority. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 88. After dinner, the next trip is Ueno Zoo. It's sunny today and it's the tourist season, so the entrance to Ueno Zoo is packed with people. When I came to the main entrance, I saw rows of kindergarten children wearing little yellow hats in front of them. They were probably only 3-4 years old. Not only the teachers, but also several parents followed behind. A little loli with a chubby face had already raised her fleshy hand, pointed at the panda on the billboard, and shouted in a sweet voice, "Panda." Then he was led back to the team by the teacher. Many girls in the team were already shouting kawaii. Even Sakakihara Suzu smiled when she saw those children. The boys, well, the boys were observing how much the tickets cost and how long the lines were. It's not like they are useless. They found that under 12 years old don't have to pay to get in. Kiyosawa Otoha said that she would distribute a milkshake and ice cream cone to everyone, so several boys volunteered to help. You like children very much? Sakakihara asked. Don't you think it's cute? It's cute, but it's not so exciting. Is it the legendary maternal love that's exclusive to women? It's so strange. What kind of maternal love do you have for your own 15-year-old sister? It's possible. Maternal love is innate. Research shows that girls who like dolls have a little bit of maternal love in them. Then how do you explain the person who abandoned the doll? It's not like there are no mothers who abandon their children. After chatting for a while, Sakakibara took the initiative to ask about what happened in the noodle shop just now. Aren't you afraid of being discovered by others when you do that? Stinky Lele said he was controlled by his brother. Even today, Sakakihara Suzu doesn't want to be angry with him at all. But she still couldn't help but glare at him, avoid the people nearby, and use a small voice to speak only to the brother and sister. Smelly Lele, would you be happy if I called you a sister-in-law? What I said is false, what you say is the truth. You are obviously a girl control. It's a girl control. Not fair at all. Sakakihara Suzu was so angry that she wanted to stamp her feet, but she was determined to ignore his teasing completely. She tilted her head confidently and moved her hair slightly. I did it to follow my mother's words, don't fall in love early. Did you hear me telling you not to have casual contact with those girls? Ah, that's specifically for you. You're not even 16 yet, and your brother and I are already 17. Sakakihara Suzu's proud look suddenly became quiet, and she let go of her arms. Did Mom say that? Certainly. Here, Sakakibara-kun, and Suzu-chan, your milkshake and ice cream. Thank you Kiyosawa-san. Sakakihara Suzu suddenly became serious and polite. Thanks. Fujino Yoshiyuki, who was holding the box, winked at Sakakibara and pursed his lips, indicating that he would not talk to him today. This kid. Nishijima seemed to have the same expression just now. It made it seem like he had betrayed the organization and the class. Isn't it necessary just to know that he has a biological sister? Watching Kiyosawa Neha and Fujino go to deliver things to other students, when Sakakibara looked away, he found that Suzu had begun to eat in small bites. In order to maintain her appearance outside, she acted very reservedly. It's delicious. Sakakihara smiled secretly at her. You raised her. She said this while eating ice cream, sipping milkshake, and occasionally looking up at him. Flamingo. Raku Sakakihara was walking alone on the slightly wet old-fashioned cement road in the park. He heard a child shouting and couldn't help but look up. Tourists are already sitting in a group in the viewing area. The color of the flamingo is very bright, with fiery red feathers all over its body, its legs are thin and long, and its necks move alternately. Groups of them stand by the water's edge. Hundreds of huolai gather together just to form a courtship group, but they do abide by monogamy, symbolizing loyal love. That's what the promotion said, but Sakakihara Raku always felt that if Amami Nanamajetsu was here, she would definitely sing the opposite. A Ling no longer follows her, because she has to take care of Tiano-chan who is afraid of strangers, so she stayed with her specially. Anyway, no one comes to talk to me now. Sakakihara took a photo of a flamingo and sent it to Nanami. Very surprised. She responded in less than half a minute. Sakakibara picked up the cell phone that he had just put back in his pocket. Brother and Suzu-chan went to the zoo alone. It's not that I didn't take you with me to the sorority party, it's just a coincidence that our friends' know each other. I have never doubted my brother. If he wants to go somewhere to play, he will most likely call his sister. Tian Haikimingyu's answers rarely contain expressions, and her emotions are as empty as her face. Also, my brother took a photo of flamingos. What did he want to ask me? Hold on. After Raku Sakakihara finished typing, he came to the wooden introduction board of flamingo. There were many children in front of him reading the introduction. He took a random photo and sent it. Type the answer. It says flamingos have loyal, free love, are monogamous, and have only one mate. I want to ask you if this is true. In less than a moment, Tian Haikimingyu replied to herself. The above is true, but only for one mating season. When it comes to the next mating season, female flamingos will switch partners with other females and vice versa. Abide by monogamy, not lifelong observance. Having only one spouse does not mean having only one spouse for life. There will be one husband and one wife, there will also be one husband and two wives, and sisters can also coexist harmoniously. I have always felt that it is stupid to attach human morality to animals for the natural world. This is not conducive to the inheritance of genes at all. Similarly, it is foolish to simply apply animal nature to humans. Human behavior is driven by complex socialization. Simply attaching labels to understand things is just a quick classification of the complex world based on one's own cognitive boundaries. This approach is not only stupid, but also lazy, but it is surprisingly useful. Laughs. But this kind of behavior can also be completely understood. Putting a perfect label on something and giving it meaning is to give yourself a psychological hint, psychological comfort, or to educate future generations. I strongly don't recommend this, because in the end it will make children feel that they have been deceived. Sakakibara patiently read through a long list of messages sent to him by Amami Nanamajetsu in the mobile chat. He found it extremely interesting. Sure enough, visiting the zoo will be more enjoyable if you have a reserve of knowledge. Details of the habits of various animals are readily available. With Chi Minjio's sinister character, she would definitely comment on the bad habits of certain animals. Chi Minjio, your last words reminded me of the stone beast in the river. Notes of Yue thatched cottage / about the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tiu Lan. Chapter 89. Chapter 89 The Little Revenge of Tian Hai Kaimingyu, Additional Update 102.001.6000. The sunset is dusty. Saying goodbye to everyone ended a day that didn't quite feel like a sorority. In the car at the end of the train, Raku Sakakibara suddenly realized that he had really not chatted with other girls today. Whenever a girl wanted to get close to him, Raku Sakakibara would accidentally need his help. Although I can understand that she wants to help him avoid the so-called bad women, I still feel that as a younger sister, she is a little too lenient. After a day of shopping, Sakakibara's Suzu began to feel a little sleepy after saying goodbye to her classmates and Tiano. She kept nodding her head down on the tram chair she was sitting on. Did you not wake up from last night? I didn't go to bed until 4 o'clock. So late? Then go to bed quickly and don't be in a daze. Well, then you are not allowed to take advantage of me. Who cares about you? Humph, that's good. As the train jolted slightly, Sakakibara's Suzu, whose head was dizzy and swollen, could no longer hold on. She put her head on Sakakibara's shoulder and began to fall asleep peacefully amidst the slight shaking and the sound of the train's announcement. There is really nothing you can do about it. Whenever this happens, Sakakibara Raku will always subconsciously relax her body so that she can lean more comfortably on her own. This is not the first time that my sister sleeps on her own. Before the Tianhai sisters came, Aling actually had very little tsundere, and more of a mentality that liked to stick to herself. He likes to crawl into his arms, hold his neck from behind and rub him. He will pull himself while watching TV, and then put his feet on his legs and kick him randomly. One time he was frightened while watching a horror movie and kicked him directly on the chest with one foot. Very willful, but also very cute. Go forward and cook for yourself, and she will stay quietly. She was in the small 6-story room, hugging her legs and staring at her toes, trying not to disturb her. A little further back, it seems that one night in the first grade of elementary school, we were lying on the bed and sleeping together. After telling her a ghost story, she was scared. After Sakakibara comforted her, she buried her head in the pillow with tears in her eyes and said, "Brother is so kind." Does every little girl in the world say that? Now that I think about it, it's really hilarious. Aling, who used to rely on herself, is her younger sister. Now that I have gone my own way, I no longer need my sister so much. Within the acceptable range, Sakaki Hararaku is still willing to take more care of her. You have to ask why, because this kind of blood-connected reliance will easily make you feel warm. The sky is getting darker and darker, and the clouds flickering outside the car window are full of melancholy gold. Smelly Lele, I am your biological sister. Sakakibara felt the breath of his grown-up sister leaning on his shoulder, and smiled slightly at the shaking ground of the train. He really doesn't grow up. Forget it, let her brother control her. Who asked him to take care of her when she grew up? Platinum Takanawa apartment. In the bedroom, Tianhai Kaimingyu, who was using her mailbox to receive a reply from her physics teacher, pushed up her glasses frame and reached for the water glass beside her. She suddenly saw a special attention on her phone interface from 5 hours ago. She reached out her hand, picked it up and took a look. Photo time with the red panda and my brother. This is what Sakaki Harasuzu posted not long ago, the photo of her holding Sakakibara's arm. Sister Chan. Tianhai Kaimingyu tilted her head slightly, and the expression on her face did not change from the moment she picked up the phone to the moment she put it down. She turned her head to read the teacher's reply to her, and after a minute, she turned her eyes to the cell phone she had put aside. A smile twitched her lips. Sister Chan, right. It's mid-May, the afternoon of the third Friday. The rainy season in June seems to have infected the whole of May. Except for the first few days of the month, the whole of May is spent in cloudy weather, and the weather turns from cloudy to rainy. The average temperature is around 20 degrees. The temperature is suitable, but without clear skies, going for a walk is a bad idea. Not long after returning home, unfortunately, there was a light rain in the sky. There was no way to go out for a run and exercise. Sakakibara, who came home early, had no choice but to do push UPS in the bedroom and find an English radio station to recite words. Helmet. 201 helmet. Location. Position 202. Vegetarian. 203 vegetarians. Scholarly competence. 300 academic ability. Hoo-hoo. Sakaki Hara put his hands up and stood up from close to the ground. His head was covered with sweat, and he took off the headphones containing the English broadcast of the vocabulary that must be memorized for the listening test. He came to the mirror and looked at himself in it. Yes, he is handsome. This is not narcissism, but confidence. Don't be afraid to say you are not handsome just because you are modest. In front of the mirror, face yourself, straighten your chest, and stand straight. Even your steps will become confident. Just like Tianhai Kaimingyu, she knows that she is a beautiful girl, knows that she has excellent grades, and knows that she has outstanding temperament. When she points to herself and says, "I'm beautiful," it's completely taken for granted. Sakaki Hara firmly believes that people's self-confidence improves through such little accumulation. Sports, knowledge, cultivation, and human character are shaped step by step through continuous exercise. You will gradually become more confident, rich in connotation and cultivation. Indirectly full of charisma. After finishing his daily exercise, Sakakibara walked out of the bedroom, washed his face, and began to prepare the vegetables for tonight's stir-fry. Sakaki Harasuzu ran over, propped herself up on the counter of the open kitchen, and looked at him. Good afternoon. Strange, Sakaki Harasuzu expressed doubts. What's weird? Brother actually greeted me so formally. Did he take the wrong medicine? I'm developing my self-confidence, you know. What? Brother, aren't you usually very narcissistic? That's called modesty. Besides, can narcissism be as narcissistic as yours? Sakaki Hara glanced at her. Also, you got off work so early today. Yeah, let me tell you quietly, I encountered an embarrassing incident today. A female senior in the industry accidentally hit a male voice actor with her arm. It was so embarrassing. Sakaki Hararaku was a little speechless. Why do you beautiful girls have such strange focuses? Please don't share this kind of thing with me. Aren't I looking for a topic? Suzu Sakaki Hara shriveled up like a ball. I'll be bored to death as soon as I get off work. When you get bored, go practice dubbing. Aren't you going to be an angel voice actress in the industry? Ah, this is so tiring, and I can't improve just by practicing now. I have to take on a good role. Sakakibara Suzu held her bulging cheeks with both hands, watching him shredding carrots, and moved her eyes. Also, why do I feel that your cooking has become more delicious recently, brother? This is a matter of course. He added this half-month to all his previous savings minus 200,000 points. They all bought the skill upgrade card that was released in the mall last week. After thinking about it again and again, he still focused on the cooking skill. Now the cooking level is LV4. It is equivalent to master level fine cooking without slowing down the speed. My level has improved, it's such a simple thing. Then why are you cooking so many dishes today? Carrots, daikon, green vegetables, beef, hamburger meat, and even tempura. Wow, bro, you are so awesome. First of all, don't use a cute voice. I'm getting goosebumps when I hear it. It only took a second for Sakaki Harasuzu's expression to change from happy to lazy. Tisk, this is a benefit only for me, but you still don't appreciate it. Brother, don't you like the cute energy style? I can also imitate it for you. Listen, there is also singing, and I am actually quite good at singing. Be courteous for nothing. Hee brother, I want to buy a TV recently. Look, can you help me? Uncle Tianhai should have given you a lot of pocket money. Take it all. I've been listening to you talking about it every day lately, and I don't even know how many times I've looked through my phone. Yeah. Brother is the best. Then come over and help me. Uncle Tianhai and my mother are going home in the afternoon. Yes, brother. Suzu Sakaki Hara helped him find some transparent glass bowls to hold the freshly cut carrots. Mom, are they done with their honeymoon? We are going to attend Xiaolin's tea party tomorrow, have you forgotten? Oh, this is the girl who gave you the pocket watch. It's her birthday. It's their home. Uncle Tianhai and my mother will get off work early today in order to refresh themselves so that they can attend the tea party tomorrow. Is this tea party that important? Very important. In fact, Sakaki Hararaku doesn't know exactly how important it is. But what he can know now is that the Tianhai family is not ordinary Tokyo citizens. Otherwise, why would Uncle Tianhai and Mom be invited to the tea party by the Xiaolin family? At this time, the doorbell rang. I'll open the door. Sakakibara Suzu ran out with small steps. When she opened the door, she found several employees who looked like a store company waiting in front of the door holding a rectangular cardboard box that was taller than any person. Two sisters, Tianhai Kaimingyu and Tianhai Julie Yulai, stood aside wearing casual dresses. This is, Sakaki Harasuzu opened her eyes wide. Ah, this is the 100-inch TV that Dad bought for my sister Zhang. He saw that you liked watching TV and felt that the previous one was not very good, so he bought you a new one. Tianhai Kaimingyu explained. This is it. There is a huge TV to watch. Of course Sakaki Harasuzu is happy. No, she is very happy. Although it was a gift from my stepfather, I felt a little bit awkward. But just don't hate it. And this completely exceeded her expectations. Originally, she just wanted to buy a 55-inch one for makeshift use. Unexpectedly, a top-notch one suddenly appeared. She knows this TV, it's more than 4 million yen. That's where you get the best stuff. It was too extravagant, and it was more than 10 times different from her original budget. Uncle Tianhai, you are so generous. Come on, be careful and put the TV flat. Okay, be careful. Yes, hold on there, Be careful, go left, left. Several staff members protected the large panel and carefully lowered the TV. This thing probably weighs more than 130 kilograms, which is big and heavy. 100 inches. So big, Suzu Sakakibara raised her head in the entrance hall. The shadow of the cardboard box could directly cover her whole body. Tianhai Kaimingyu, the length is 2.2 and the width is 1.3, which is probably around this number. The staff of the home store company worked together for 5 or 6 minutes before they reluctantly carried the TV into the house. In order not to dirty the house, they even took off their shoes and entered the entrance. Sakakibara, who was busy with dinner in the kitchen and listening to English songs on headphones, looked up and suddenly saw several people coming in carrying a large cardboard box, and was almost startled. "What's this?" TV Sakakihara Suzu said as she returned to the bedroom. "So big. By the way, why did a TV come when you just wanted to buy one?" "Uncle Tianhai gave it to me. And this is a 100-inch TV. Aling was very happy from the moment she walked in, like a child who received a beloved gift and couldn't put it down. Is this the mentality of a little girl after receiving a gift? She ran to the living room and personally observed the installation work of several staff members. Tianhai Julie Yulai and Tianhai Kaimingyu took off their shoes at the entrance and walked into the living room. Two twins with exactly the same height appeared in front of them. The same long flaxen hair, the same sky blue dress, the same black stockings. The slender legs are outlined with a little bit of skin color by translucent black stockings. From thighs to calves to ankles, without exception, they are all in perfect proportion. Just standing in front of the two beautiful girls, they both felt as relaxed and happy as the summer sea. "Welcome home," Sakakibara said with a smile and nodded to them. Yeah, Tianhai Kaimingyu nodded. Tianhai Julie Yulai noticed him busy with dinner. "Brother, I'm going to lie down in the bathroom first, and I'll come over to help you later." "Okay." Sakakibara nodded towards Amamai Kuruori, who was smiling. On her body, Sakakihara Raku can always see beautiful colors. "Julie Yulai, so cute." "Brother." Tianhai Kaimingyu's emotionless voice brought him back to reality. "I peeked at my sister again and was fascinated." "I can't help myself." Sakakibara smiled calmly, which was also a sign of confidence. Chi Minjiu is a little curious. "What are you curious about?" "My sister and I look exactly the same." "Does my brother feel the same way about me as my sister does?" "Not necessarily. When looking at a person, you can't just look at the surface. But based on the current situation, it can be speculated that the brother's good impression of the sister is born from appearance. Because of the sister's beauty, the brother's heart is moved, and because of the sister's gentleness, the brother likes the sister." Tianhai Kaimingyu blinked at him. "Actually, the most vain thing many men say is that they don't care about appearance. If the sister is not so beautiful, it will be difficult for the brother to fall in love with her so quickly. I don't deny this." Sure enough, all boys like H. Tianhai Kaimingyu's expression was indifferent, but her words sounded like a naughty ghost. Sakakihara couldn't help but retort, "Like appearance and liking H, they are completely different things, right?" "This is not necessarily true. If the brother likes the appearance of the sister, it also means that he likes H to a certain extent. Men will not be able to control themselves when they see black stockings or white stockings under the skirt. This is a basic physiological reaction. It's really the words of tiger and wolf. Also, Chi Minjiu wants to ask my brother again, if you want to pursue your sister, do you not care about the relationship between sworn brothers and sisters?" Sakakibara had thought about this question for a long time and got the answer. He nodded, "Yes. That's good. Sister Chan's new TV arrived today. Remember to watch a movie together tonight." "Oh, okay, what are you looking at?" Sakakihara asked. "Horror film." "No way, Uncle Tianhai is also at home today." Zombie movie. Too bloody, pass. Sakakihara Raku didn't expect that Nanamijiya would like to watch this type of movie. Sure enough, he was a little devil at heart. If anyone marries her, she will definitely torture him to no end. Well, that's right. Then it's a love letter. Have you read the love letter? No, this is a literary film. Yes, to tactfully describe a fruitless relationship. Then this is good. After Emami Nanami received Sakakibara's consent, her eyes seemed to glance at Sakakibara's Suzu in the living room unintentionally. Naughty sister sauce. Uncle Emami and his mother returned home not long after Sakakibara prepared the meal. The two of them were carrying many things in large and small bags. What did you buy? Sakakihara asked his mother. The dress is the dress you children will wear tomorrow. Didn't I ask you to have your body measured a few days ago? Oh, this. Mrs. Sakakibara happily said to Raku Sakakibara, Ale, you haven't worn tailor-made clothes yet. The feeling of a perfect fit is difficult to feel in ordinary clothes. Come on, take it, this is yours. And Aling. Oh, forget it, you can take them all, and you can give them to Chi Minjiao and Julie Yulai. Tian Haimadayan also showed a smile, go quickly. Okay, Sakakibara hurriedly took the handbags from the hands of his mother and Uncle Emami. When he went to give it to them, Sakakibara took a special look at it. Sister Tianhai is wearing a black dress and Aling is wearing a white dress. Just by looking at the workmanship, you can tell that the price is high. I've never worn this kind of clothes before. On the sofa, Tianhai Julie Yulai turned her head and asked her, haven't Suzuchan tried it? No, where could I afford to buy formal dresses in the past, let alone tailor-made ones? They were all discounted clothes purchased from Uniqlo. Why don't you try it tonight? I'll help Suzuchan put it on. Good. After the family finished dinner, my mother and Raku Sakakibara were washing the dishes. However, at the repeated request of Amami Kurayuri, Sakakihara Raku was screened out. Of course Mrs. Sakakibara is happy to see this scene, because it means that the relationship between her children is very harmonious. The new home is on track. Alas, she wrongly accused Ali a while ago, thinking that he liked the child Chi Minjiao. Yes, how is this possible? How could a kid like Ali like Chi Minjiao? I simply think too much. After everyone had washed up, the family sat on the three sofas on the left, middle, and right in the living room. They turned off the lights in the living room, leaving only a 100-inch TV in front of them to emit light. The living room of the new home is already big enough, but once the TV is hung up, the whole room becomes much brighter. On the right side of the balcony is a transparent floor-to-ceiling window, and you can also see the night sky of Tokyo and the Tokyo Tower 5 kilometers away. In front of him is a coffee table and a 100-inch TV. This is simply a top-notch home theater. Sakakibara Suzu, who had just taken a shower, knew that she was going to watch a movie. She had already been sitting cross-legged on her long hair, holding a carrot doll and was very excited. Movies, movies, movies. Is it necessary to be so excited? Is necessary. On the sofa on the left, Amami Shidanori, who was working on his computer, smiled and said, Aling wants to see it, why don't you put it down first? The two sisters will take a bath together and take a while. It's okay, just wait for them. The living room was dark. About 2 minutes later, the Tianhai twins came out of the bathroom. Since they had prepared their clothes in advance, they put the skirts they had worn before into the bedroom and then came to the living room. They chose to sit down in the middle with Sakakihara Suzu and Sakakihara Raku. Sister, I'll sit outside and let my brother sit between us. Sakakihara Raku, Okay. Tianhai Julie Yulai didn't think there was any problem at all. The position order of the whole sofa from left to right is, Sakakihara Suzu, Tenkai Kuruori, Sakaki Hararaku, Tenkai Nanamajetsu. Sakakibara Suzu was so excited about watching the movie that she didn't realize where Sakakibara Raku was sitting now. Movies, movies, movies. Mrs. Sakakibara smiled, then let's get started. Ah, okay. Tianhai Julie Yulai looked around, found the remote control board on the coffee table, and played the movie that had been prepared in advance. This picture, this color. Such smoothness. Amazing. Stars popped out of Suzu Sakakibara's eyes. Mrs. Sakakibara was also very happy to see her daughter so happy. As for Sakakibara Raku. Ahem, Tianhai Julie Yulai and Tianhai Kaimingyu had just finished taking a bath, and the fragrance on their bodies was completely irresistible. Sitting between the two of them, Sakaki Hararaku could barely keep his face straight. Moreover, it seems that the water drops left on their bodies from bathing have not been completely dried. There are 1 or 2 water drops on the fair thighs under the girl's dress that are stained with a light pink color, and the skin is as shiny as moist. In the dark living room, as the movie was playing, Sakaki Hararaku felt inexplicably that Amami Nanami moved towards him again and accidentally touched her hair several times. Sakakibara looked at her and could only see her delicate, expressionless face under the flaxen hair. Don't. Chi Minjio, don't let the little devil's thoughts pop up at this time. Uncle Tianhai and my mother are on both sides. Caught in the middle, Sakaki Hararaku, who had not paid much attention to watching the movie, became even more nervous. He was afraid that he would touch something he shouldn't touch. No, really no, the middle of the twins is really no place for people to stay. I have to change, so I moved to the outside of the sofa with Chi Minjio. However, just when Raku Sakaki Hara was about to stand up, a small hand grabbed him directly. A little cold and a little soft. Sakakibara's expression suddenly froze. Brother, sit down. Tianhai Kaimingyu's eyes reflected the TV picture, and she just said something to him so softly. A voice that only 2 people could hear. No, I can't stay here. Brother, do you know how to stay calm while pregnant? But I am not Luziawai. If brother doesn't listen to Chi Minjio, I will tell my sister that you like her. A man with backbone will never give in. Huh, Tianhai Kaimingyu protracted her tone. Sakaki Hara sat back down and said with a smile, we think we can discuss it? Damn it, the whole living room is dark, and the only way to see clearly between the sofas is the light from the TV, making it difficult for people to pay attention to the small movements of Tianhai Kaimingyu. Uncle Tianhai? Ah, Uncle Tianhai was busy with his cross-border case and didn't care about the fighting situation on the sofa. Sakaki Hararaku was sandwiched between the 2 sisters, and Amami Kurayuri approached him from time to time to ask about the plot. If it weren't for the dual use of Hanafuda Tenkai Kyuri to obtain the left and right fighting technique, Sakaki Hararaku would really have a hard time answering. Brother, give me your hand later. What are you doing? Just give it to me. The 2 major chapters are directly combined into one, mainly because I don't think it's appropriate to break them up. There is a short chapter to follow. Also, thank you for everyone's large and small tips. Thanks to Prenow for being the first leader to reward. Crying, I have to add 5 more chapters. In addition, other book friends have accumulated more than 20,000 points in rewards, so I will add another chapter. That means a total of 6 chapters have been added. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Buletin 11 Huan Tou Lan. Chapter 90. As the movie progressed, Sakaki Harasuzu became more and more fascinated. Even Sakaki Hararaku has to admit that Love Letter is a good movie. Of course, he was multitasking and focusing on the results of the movie. On the other hand, he was wary of Tian Hikaiminyu beside him. Sakaki Hararaku has been worried about her little devil's thoughts popping up. Brother. Unfortunately, the little devil's voice still floated. What? Sakaki Haro lowered his voice as much as possible, so that only the two of them could hear the sound in the dark living room. Let Chi Minjayu guess what brother is thinking about now. Sakakibara was worried. Brother is thinking, what does Chi Minjayu want your hand for? No, no, I was wondering if I could pinch your face. Sakaki Hararaku had a random idea. Are you trying to touch Chi Minjayu's face? Something is wrong, something is wrong. Chi Minjayu, do you have the ability to read minds? Brother, don't worry, Chi Minjayu doesn't have the ability to read minds. It's just that you glanced at me slightly just now, which made me notice your gaze. I wear the same strapless dress as my sister. Apart from the chest, there are only 3 parts of my upper body that attract boys: shoulders, collarbones, and face. Chi Minjayu happens to have the same face as my sister, and my brother especially likes to see my sister puff up her cheeks, so I will probably pay attention to her face. Tianhai Chi Minjayu didn't finish her words, deliberately leaving 3 points of suspense. By the way, Chi Minjayu, what are you going to do later? Brother, just watch the movie quietly. The plot of Love Letter has progressed to more than half, and this period of time passed peacefully and peacefully. The reason why Sakakibara was surprised was that the Amamai Kuriyuri on the right side was slightly leaning toward him. Take another look. Tianhai Juliuli, who was originally very serious about everything he did, was already sleeping with his eyes squinted. Brother, sister is asleep. Tianhai Kaimingyu's voice drifted over. Wait, how did you know so quickly that Juliuli was about to fall asleep just after he fell down? My sister has been sleepy since the afternoon. I forced myself to go out in order to help my sister buy a TV. Then I'll help her back to her room to rest. Let sister rest alone for a while. Brother, don't be anxious. Give me your hand. Sakakibara held out his hand. Tianhai Kaimingyu's hand was 1 size smaller than his own, and the feeling of being pinched by her little hand was very cold and soft. Brother has never seriously held a girl's hand? How does it feel? Chi Minjayu's hand is similar to that of my sister. Don't mess around. Mom and Uncle Tianhai are outside on both sides. Chi Minjayu doesn't remember saying that she was going to do something bad, and it doesn't matter if my father and aunt are around. They are all doing their own things and not looking at us. The light is so dark. Even if you are my brother, you can secretly touch me. The skirt is probably not visible either. I am used to it. Tianhai Kaimingyu has such amazing speeches. Nanamai observed Sakakibara's Suzu across from her, and said to Sakakibara Raku. Okay, brother, close your eyes now. Close? What are you doing with your eyes closed? There is no need to ask questions, brother, just do as you are told. Chi Minjayu is not going to do anything bad. Sakaki Hararaku felt in his heart that he should not trust Nanamijayu no matter what. But she has a handle on her, and she will ask her to help conquer Juliuli in the future. It's not a good idea to offend her now. Just listen to her for now. Okay, brother, let your thoughts go now. Empty your mind. Sakakibara tries to empty your mind. Imagine the sky with a white cloud. A white cloud. Great, we have a picture. My brother accidentally stepped on it, and the soft rebound made my whole body sink into it, but it quickly bounced back, like a wave. Like a wave. Tianhai Kaimingyu's voice was so sweet and soft, she didn't make her voice cold, it sounded as soothing as a clear spring. Now, brother feels something. What do you feel? It's indeed very soft and delicate. As elastic as a water balloon. But in terms of touch, it is more supple, silky, delicate, and comfortable. The fingertips are still a little soft. Etc. Sakaki Hararaku, who quickly opened his eyes, suddenly found that his hand was almost placed on the thigh under Amami Jurili's dress. He quickly raised his hand and took it back. Looking at the culprit Tianhai Kaimingyu again, there was no expression on her delicate face that was the same as Tianhai Juli Yulai. Little devil. Definitely a little devil. He actually betrayed his sister. She must be laughing in her heart right now. He must have remembered the previous topic about age. She wanted to verify it. Brother should be more honest. Confess what? Although I only touched a little with my fingertips just now, my brother's heartbeat must have accelerated just now. Brother, I have to admit that boys like beautiful appearance more. Because of the appearance, they like a girl more. But you shouldn't either. SHH, Tianhai Chi Minjiu held out a finger to silence without any emotion. Be careful if Dad hears it. If Dad and Aunt find out that my brother was secretly hiding under their noses just now. I didn't. Sure enough, the little devil is so cruel. Cruel and ruthless. But brother, don't have any psychological burden. Anyway, it's not the brother who touched my sister's thigh in his subjective consciousness. If you insist on it, this is Chi Minjiu's responsibility. When she said that, it seemed like that was the case. The strange movement just now made Suzu Sakaki Hara take her thoughts away from the movie for a while. She happened to turn around and saw Tianhai Kaimingyu, who seemed to be whispering to her brother. The two of them whispered to each other and moved very intimately. Moreover, Chi Minjiu was only wearing a strapless dress right after taking a shower. Nanami noticed that Sakakibara Suzu was looking towards her, and she thought to herself that she finally took the bait and almost betrayed her sister's appearance. Amami Nanamayu blinked at her, and then took the initiative to pull the clothes on Sakakibara's arm to make him look at her. Sakakihara Suzu was angry. This is a provocation. Provocative, right? Definitely a provocation. Sakakihara Suzu immediately understood what the woman meant. Didn't I just show you a photo with my brother on the news? I still remember it. And that was just a return gift from the previous incident. What's Lele's attitude? Right? That's it, Lele ignores that woman and rejects her. That's a bad woman, a bad sister. No, I must win back the victory in the future. It's better to watch TV in peace. Of course Sakakibara Raku also noticed Sakakibara Suzu's gaze. He was also helpless. Why did I feel like I had met a Shura field even though I was not in love? Do sisters also compare with each other? Alas, wouldn't it be nice for everyone to live in harmony and create a good family atmosphere together? Look at Julie Yulai. Look at how good Julie Yulai is. When I was serious about watching a movie, I really couldn't stand it any longer, so I slept quietly by myself without disturbing others. No jealousy, no other petty thoughts. Raku Sakakibara discovered that even though Isuzu was an obvious brother controller, her constant jealousy was not a problem. I can't help but fall in love in the future. If she is jealous, he must take care of her mood. Just coax her. Although I don't mind, if a girl coaxes her too much, I can't help it. Because the source of her jealousy is still there. No, we have to let Aling turn back into a normal sister. Why don't you tell her that you like Tianhai Julie Yulai? Let her understand that she has someone she likes, and she will probably be able to recognize her own identity. If she just does this, I'm afraid she will ignore her brother-sister relationship for more than 10 years for a long time, and maybe there will be a turning point because of this accident. About the fact that I unintentionally raised my sister to be a cripple. Author, Wo Bulletin 11 Huan Tiu Lan. Chapter 91. I feel like my brother has become a lot more handsome recently. Because Amami Kururi said these words while washing vegetables in the early morning, Sakakibara Raku felt that her mood throughout the morning was better than yesterday by a Googleplex level. Oh, by the way. Googolplex is a number. Very huge. The number of zeros in this number far exceeds the total number of known elementary particles in the universe. There is also Graham's number, which is even larger than Googolplex. This is an unimaginably huge number, too big to be calculated. If you use the thickness of A4 paper to write 2,000 numbers on one page, the entire universe will not be enough to write. This is a word Raku Sakakihara learned from an English broadcast about mathematics magazines. Sure enough, people make slow progress over time. In order to verify his knowledge, Sakakibara asked Amami Nanamajetsu, who was reading a book in the living room. Is there a number greater than the Gregorian number? Tree, 3. Tianhai Kaimingyu said calmly. How do you understand? The Gregorian number is no different from 0 in front of tree 3. Although there is no actual concept, Sakakihara Raku has a general understanding. How about higher? Tree, 4, the difference is roughly the same as above. Chi Minjio, how do you know so much? Brother, just change your daily exercise to reading more books. This knowledge point will not be included in the exam. Brother, just remember that they are still finite natural numbers. Tianhai Kaimingyu closed the book and looked at him through the thin gold-rimmed glasses on the bridge of her nose. Also, I got the wedding photos we took before. When you get it, you get it. Why don't you have the energy to speak? Are you afraid that I will spread the word? Isn't this natural? And why should we emphasize the wedding photos we took? Brother was very excited that time, wasn't he? Sakakihara struggled for a while and didn't want to lie. I can only say, a little bit. So when will brother admit that he likes Tianhai Kaimingyu? What I like is Tianhai Julie Yulai. Brother, a gentleman is often the most carefree, because he is reluctant to let anyone go and is unwilling to give up on anyone. I'm just so. I'm not usually very gentle. Tianhai Kaimingyu stopped talking and spread out the books on his knees again. My brother is right, he is not usually very gentle. But when someone needs him, he is the most gentle one, treating everyone the same. The elder brother is actually completely similar to the elder sister. Amami Nanamiyuki glanced at Raku Sakakibara's increasingly handsome profile from the corner of her eye, lowered her head, and didn't know what she was thinking while reading. It was afternoon, and it was time for the family to prepare for a tea party. Tianhai Julie Yulai helped Tianhai Kaimingyu comb her hair in her bedroom. Looking at his sister's face that was exactly the same as his own in the mirror, Tianhai Julie Yulai smiled. Sister, why are you laughing? Actually, brother, we have met when we were children, right? Sister, did you recognize it? Recognized. What Tianhai Kaimingyu originally wanted to ask when she recognized him, but she thought about it carefully and said, my sister must have discovered it when she was taking care of her brother. Well, Tianhai Julie Yulai gently glided the comb through his sister's beautiful flaxen hair. I still remember that you were always looking for him when you were a child. That time you left Tokyo. Sister, there is no need to mention the things that happened when we were young. Tianhai Chi Minjia closed her eyes and interrupted. What's wrong? You don't seem happy. What happens when I was a kid is my childhood. My thoughts and impressions of things will change over time. My brother is just a brother to me now. Tianhai Chi Minjia pinched her index finger and looked at herself in the mirror with emotionless eyes. Tianhai Julie Yulai was a little surprised. Is that so? I thought you would have a better impression of your brother because of what happened when you were a child. Tianhai Kaimingyu looked at her smiling sister in the mirror and remained silent for a while. What does sister think of brother now? A very handsome brother, and he is also very good at taking care of others. However, he seems to have never been in love, unlike some of the classmates we have met before. Under normal circumstances, there should be many girls who like him. Sister actually thinks that brother is very good, right? Of course, there were very few people who could cook delicious food for us like this before. Moreover, My brother is very attentive to everything and is very careful when cooking. I feel that he is very steady and very much like an elder brother. I think my brother is usually a bit floating. Tian Haijuli Yuli immediately said, people definitely don't have only one side. My brother must be the kind of boy who seems to be very reliable at critical moments. Sister is so kind. What's the matter? Understanding. Forget it if others say this to me, Chi Minjiao, you still say this to me. Let me rub my sister's face. Haha, okay, stop rubbing it, it's itchy. Quickly change your clothes and go out. No, I have to rub it again. Don't be naughty. In the living room. Raku Sakakihara was the first to change his clothes. Although he usually wore enough suits and school uniforms, he still felt a little uncomfortable when he really changed into a formal tuxedo. It's not that the clothes don't fit, it's just that I haven't worn them before, so I'm not used to them. In the corridor leading to the bedroom, Mrs. Sakakibara's teasing voice seemed to be heard. Okay, why are you shy? Come up and show Allah a look. But it's true, that's a good one. Isn't Aling usually very confident? Why are you embarrassed after changing into more expensive clothes? You don't look like this when you are working, right? Mom, you have never been to my office. I guess, and I can also find some videos about the work of voice actors on the internet, and I have seen some of your videos. Look what those are doing. I care about you. Okay, go out quickly and let your brother evaluate you. Such a small voice came from the corridor. The next moment, Raku Sakakibara raised his head from the sofa and saw Suzu Sakakibara, whose face was flushed with Mrs. Sakakibara holding her shoulders. She was wearing a white dress that was custom made a few days ago, simple and clean. Due to age, the designer of this dress paid more attention to cuteness and student status. With a small lapel around the neck and a black knot, the college-style plain white dress is full of Japanese style, fresh and natural. The most important thing is that Sakakihara discovered that the designer understood her very well, and even matched Suzu with a beret to put on her short hair. Sakakihara Suzu intertwined her fingers on the backs of her hands, staring at the ground with her face tilted sideways, her movements looking very reserved. Mrs. Sakakibara held her daughter's shoulders with both hands and asked Raku Sakakibara, who was sitting on the sofa. What do you think of this outfit? Good-looking Raku Sakakihara blurted out with a slight smile. Haha, let me tell you. When I told Ailing this, she still didn't feel it and she still didn't want to come out. It is indeed beautiful and fresh. Very nice. Sure enough, people depend on their clothes. Sakakibara looked at his younger sister, who looked like a new girl, and said with a smile, why are you so reserved? Are you shy? That's not true. It's just that I don't feel comfortable with this outfit. Well, I just don't feel comfortable with it. Okay Ale, don't laugh at your sister. This is the first time she has dressed so formally. Although Mrs. Sakakibara said this with a smile, she always sounded a little sad. I really didn't laugh at her, I just thought it looked good. The key is not what you think, but how your sister feels. Haha, this is a bit harsh to say, but it also applies now. Just wait a while, I'll go back and put on my clothes. Mrs. Sakakibara pushed Suzu to the living room, and she went back to the master bedroom to change clothes. Sakakibara's Suzu sat on the sofa, a distance away from Sakakibara Raku. Raku Sakakibara took a look at Suzu Sakakibara, who was sitting next to him, and found that her face was very red, but she was still a little arrogant. Let me tell you in advance, I'm not shy. Sakakihara Suzu's fingers were twirling in front of her face, and they were tangled randomly. Yes, I believe it. Sakakihara chuckled inwardly. Besides, do you really think it looks good? Suzu Sakakihara put one hand on her skirt, stretched out her other hand to shyly lift the short hair beside her ear, and looked at him with flashing purple eyes. You look good. You say you are an angel and a beautiful girl. You should be a little more confident. I'm usually very confident, okay. Then why are you so reserved when changing your clothes? Sakakihara Suzu didn't know how to answer this question, but she felt itchy in her heart. She really wanted to hide in the room, then pull the quilt over and cover her head. I don't know either. I understand, the current Aling actually has a Cinderella mentality. What's the meaning? That means you're beautiful. But didn't you just talk about psychology? This is to make you openly accept the fact that you are beautiful. Look at your brother, Sakakibara deliberately puffed up his chest, isn't he handsome? Because he raised his head deliberately, like a strong man showing off his chest muscles. Sakakihara Suzu looked at him and couldn't hold it back. How can any boy be so narcissistic and say that he is handsome? Hey, can it only be a girl? Sakakihara deliberately used a relaxed tone to make her relax. Beautiful girls have privileges. But self-confidence is also important, and self-confidence is also attractive. For example, when I wear this tuxedo, I have never worn such expensive clothes before, but after wearing it, I didn't feel anything wrong. That's all. I know you care about me, brother. Thank you. Sakakihara Suzu took a deep breath and calmed down a little. Then do you want a hug that gives you courage and confidence? Who wants your hug? Sakakihara Raku originally thought that the arrogant Suzu would say this. Did not expect. Okay. Huh? Agree. It's nothing if you give me a hug. Sakakihara Suzu said, slowly moving over, then naturally wrapping her arms around his shoulders and hugging him for a little while. This is also a thank you to my smelly brother for helping me make delicious food every day. You can exchange a hug for me to cook delicious food for you every time. This is not a good deal. So this is the privilege of a beautiful girl. Sakakibara was happy to see her relaxed and relaxed a lot. Also, brother, don't tell the outside world that your biological sister doesn't care about him. I sent you flowers and a fruit basket. When Sakakihara heard this, he thought about what happened at the movie last night. I sighed inwardly. Not only does he care, but he also controls him. Sakakibara felt that she had a vague sense of her identity. As a younger sister, on the day of the sorority, she actually had no reason to help her stop those girls. It's not right for her to do this. Although I know it's wrong for her to do this. But I really need to wake her up myself and let her know. If you really do that, she will get angry and stay away. Sakakihara Raku is still unwilling to let go of the relationship he has had with her for more than 10 years. Even if the matter is not too serious, but the relationship has faded, Sakakihara Raku will feel very uncomfortable. Aling. As I said before, I want to take the exam at Beijing University. Can't you stay in Tokyo and study? The overlap of the paths of life is limited. Different people, even if they have the same goals, will eventually reach different intersections. The same goes for brothers and sisters. As I said before, I can't take care of you forever. Why are you saying this all of a sudden? Suzu Sakakihara's voice was quite sad. She suddenly wanted to let go of the relationship that lasted more than 10 years. Although it was not now, her heart was filled with reluctance. There is no more familiar beef curry, and no one to help me with my homework. Thinking about it this way, I think I am really a very good person. You should know what I'm talking about. Sakakihara Suzu was silent for a moment, she pursed her lips, and then asked in a low voice, actually, you are not talking about leaving, right? I know it's possessiveness that's at work. I need time to think about the fact that you were the only brother who was good to me. I understand. But you're still my brother, right? Well, this won't change. Raku Sakakihara originally wanted to touch her head, but found that she was wearing a hat, which made it difficult to touch, so he took his hand back. "Why don't you touch your head?" "Ah," Sakakibara smiled and stretched out his hand again, even holding his hat down. "Don't you like touching your head?" Sakakihara Suzu put her head on his big hand, lowered her eyebrows and said, "I just think touching my head will make me grow taller." "Now I won't grow taller anyway, it's up to you." A Ling who can still act coquettishly and puff out her face is cuter. "No way." Sakakibara smiled knowingly as he touched his head. As expected, Suzu is still a 15-year-old sister. You will need to rely on others in some aspects. "Brother, why are you so nice to people?" "I don't have anything. I'll just do whatever I can. In fact, I can't bear to leave such a good family member. In the previous life, the family was not harmonious, and my father and mother divorced early. They were indifferent to me and would not call me once a year. I have no brothers and sisters, I have a family, but I don't seem to have a family. Although there is material satisfaction, spiritually, he has always been lacking. That insatiable feeling of loneliness that no matter how many times I run can never make up for it. Although my life was a bit miserable after my rebirth, I still had my family, my hard-working mother and my lovely and obedient sister. These have always been the motivation for moving forward. There are 2 more chapters tonight.